Hello everyone, my name is ateatree and you are watching Blackheart's Boston Fund, a mutual aid marathon for an amazing friend in need, Blackheart Wings. We are all so glad to be here for her today, and we have three amazing folks behind the scenes waiting to get out and do their runs for you. They are going to shred through San Vanilova and carve up Port Carverton in our Skate Trilogy Relay. It's time for SupaScared, Hekigan, and ExpiredData. Let's see this run, you legends.
What is going on, everyone? My name is SupaScared, and I'm so excited to be here with two of my friends. We're going to do the world premiere of the Skate Trilogy Relay for you. So I'm going to be doing Skate Career 100%. My friend Hecky will be doing Skate 2, and then Expired will be doing Skate 3. So I'm going to get started here. I'm going to give us a little 3-second countdown, and then I'm going to let everyone else introduce themselves as well. But let's get started on the first push in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Go first, Hecky.
Sure. I'm Hecky. I'm replacing Matty today. He was supposed to be here doing this, but fortunately he couldn't make it, so I jumped in last minute.
Yo, that was pretty low. Let's check the footy on
Pretty new to skate speedruns.
You know what's really sick about? Yo, that was
You
What
sell
Hecky
yourself
fails to
short.
mention.
Yeah, I was gonna say I heard this story third hand, but something about the discovering new tech and taking the world record.
Yes.
Care to elaborate on that?
Hecky came in here about 3 weeks ago and just completely demolished Skate 2 any percent. You all see that after this. Real quick though, we have to do some resetting here. So the reason why this game's called Skate is because one, we're skateboarding, but also within the game, we're playing something very similar to horse with basketball. So what we have to do here is we have to do a trick, and then Shingo's gonna have to copy that. If Shingo doesn't copy that, Shingo will get Fs, and once Skate is spelled, we win. The only thing that we have to reset for in the beginning is Shingo gets to trick first. Sometimes Shingo can land like a bunch of tricks, sometimes he'll fall on the first one. But we also had a new discovery, which I guess wasn't new to the skate competitive community, but it was new to all of us speedrunners. You'll notice right here, I'm doing these things called fast pushes. Normally when you push, you have to wait for your leg to swing all the way forward to be able to swing back and push again. But if the moment our foot pushes off the ground, if we flick a little bit on the right stick, we can actually cancel that animation out, and we can get 3 pushes in the time it normally takes us to do 2. We just
And three pushes being what gets you to top speed.
Exactly. 3 pushes is how we get to top speed. So anytime you fall, you can now recover faster. If you are in a death race, you can, just start a little bit faster. Films, now you can get top speed before that 3-second countdown is over. So there's a lot of small time saves in this with that as well. I was very excited. This also has
it's big tech in Skate 1, right? Because in the later games we can get off the board and there's speed glitches and all sorts of crazy stuff, but in Skate 1 just moving faster there was no way other than just pushing the normal way before.
Yeah, the only way to really save time with movement in the first game is just making sure that you're not getting hit anywhere, or you're not power sliding too long and hitting this gold screen that slows everything down. But there is one thing that you can do. You can just continuously do little nollie pops into nose manuals, and you'll slowly generate a little bit more speed, but it's not going to be like the speed glitches you're going to see in Skate 2 next, or anywhere near the speed glitches you're going to see in Skate 3, because Skate 3 is very wacky, so make sure you stick around for the whole relay so you can see Expired crush that later. I was really hoping Shingo would fly past me here, but this is the first follow mission. We have to follow Shingo all the way across town to the elementary school, because in the intro cutscene of this game, we were actually at the elementary school filming a sponsor tape, but we got hit by a bus. So through the tutorial, you're doing a little rehab, relearning how to skate again, and, we have to relearn how to get back to the elementary school because I don't think our character remembers how. But we do have to stay within 180 feet of Shingo, and that's 180 feet in front of him or behind him. This car might be an issue here, so I'm going to be very careful. Yeah, Shingo hit that. You saw Shingo go from about 20 feet away to about 100 feet, and you can pay attention to that on the bottom middle of the screen. There is a little shortcut we can take up here too, but I do believe I am just a little too ahead of him. I normally like to stay within 80, 90 feet, just so you have that buffer room if he does fall, if he gets hit by a car. because Shingo won't get up in the same place that he falls. Sometimes he can
make sure you
teleport
hang
in
with him.
front of himself, and sometimes he'll actually teleport backwards. It's kind of sketchy. But we made it over to Seb. We're gonna now do our first photo for the magazine. This one's super simple. All we have to do is one grind and get 100 points. But the game's going to teach us here how to put down a session marker. And session markers in this game allow you to drop a marker and then teleport back to it in case you do fall for some reason. But we didn't fall here, and I perfectly lined myself up with this big median over here because we're going to have to do our first film next. And by doing that, we're going to have two big grinds on it.
If you ain't feeling it,
But you
can
want to
always
explain
do
this
the
film real
challenge
quick
again.
while I do it, Expired?
I'm pretty sure that
Yeah, I can do. So the films in the game are really cool. You can kind of do them anywhere. It really brings in the whole like, oh, I can skate around anywhere and be really creative. And this one, we just got to do 2 grinds and 500 points literally anywhere. And it's really hard to get up to that high ledge, but Super's done it enough times that he can do it really quickly. It's just hard to hit 2 consecutive grinds because the game really wants you to end grinding and come off or like go off the other way. But yeah, really well executed.
Thank you. So what just happened there is we had to open up our sidekick in our backpack, and then we had to open up our map. Instead of Skate 2 and Skate 3, where you just kind of open up a menu and select the challenge you want, this really uses that open world kind of feel to it, where you have to drag a cursor all the way across the map. So you can lose a lot of time menuing in this game. But all we had to do here is we went back to the community center, and we are doing a best trick contest here. So it's going to be 3 90-second rounds. All we have to do is get best trick. Now, you can't really save any time here just because we have to wait for time to expire all the time. But I've been messing around with this a little bit. So Expired noticed in Skate 2, if when the round ends during any of, like the timed events, if you're not moving, that you can either go to the round or end the challenge like just a second or 2 faster sometimes. So I'm going to make sure that I'm, just stationary here at the end. But for now, I'm just going to practice my double flip. So we're going to have to play skate again with one of the skaters that are actually in this contest named Eric. And I'm going to only be doing double kick flips and double heel flips when we get to that point. So I just like to use this time just to make sure that, my thumbs are all warmed up and I'm flicking the stick in the right direction, just so we're ready for later. You can just kind of jam around here, get as many points as you want, but there are some things to keep in mind that you can lose time on. I do think you lose like a very, very minute bit of time if you fall. So if you're just like trying to get a high score and you fall multiple times, that can definitely stack up. But anytime you do the longest manual you've done, the longest grind, or the longest power slide, you hit this screen that it almost has like a gold hue to it, and time slows down. The game only plays in 30 FPS when that happens, but it's supposed to, let you know like, oh, you're doing really good right now. But we don't want that just because we want to save time. So
yeah, I think time also slows down a little bit when you bail, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we don't want to bail, because anything that can affect the FPS can affect the timer itself. It loses time.
And one thing you want to be careful about here is if for some reason you grind this entire ledge that's next to me, about 3/4 of the way through, you're gonna trigger that longest grind you've done. So then that last quarter of it is gonna take the same distance that an entire half of that box would take. So it's just best to trick onto it, trick off, and get those points immediately. But if we have any upcoming incentives or any bid wars or anything going on, now would be a really good time to hear about them.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. The other thing I wanted to do, just to kind of take a little step back, you were describing, how you're practicing certain maneuvers. And if people aren't familiar with the Skate series specifically, the reason that sort of thing is important is because Skate tried to, it changed up the control scheme compared to, your Tony Hawk's, the grind sessions, the kind of skating games that came before it, in an attempt to make doing some of the moves feel more authentic. You're working mostly with your analog stick controls as far as how to arrange your skaters' feet and the way they're pushing off the board. So doing trips like the double heel flip or something that involves a big spin, you actually have to position the right stick in a certain way, timing and positioning when you're up in the air. So it's a lot more complicated than the old button fired combos of a Tony Hawk. So if you hadn't heard, if you weren't familiar, that's why the practice element is really important, even when you're in the run.
Oh,
But
most
yeah,
definitely.
beyond that, we do have that farm name bid war open for Harvest Moon's Friends of Mineral Town. And I think we are actually just about to, as one of the producers for this event, in kind of a taking a little bit of executive privilege, knowing that other producers have okayed this already, I am going to go ahead and open the incentive for the Pump It Up 20th Anniversary Bonus Co-op Song Showcase right now. So that is now open. We are looking for $500 to get that met.
That's super exciting. Let's go. So just to kind of talk a little bit more about the controls. So we have 40 seconds to, you know, wait for time to expire here. So let's say you want to do an ollie. You know, in Tony Hawk, that would just be, you know, holding down the A or the X button and then letting off on that to be able to pop up. For this game, to do an ollie, you would like pull back on the stick and then push forward. And depending on how long you hold it down and how fast you push it forward is going to, you know, change your speed. So then if you want to do a kickflip, you would hold it down, flick it to the left. You want to do a heel flip, hold it down, flip it to the right. There we go. I didn't mean to do the shove it there, but you know, you want to do a shove it, you just kind of like spin the stick along the bottom. It's a lot of very weird inputs, but if you skated before, the inputs in the directions that they were trying to do here, they really made sense, and like you really click with it right away.
Yeah, and like if you ever want to see what the inputs look like during if you watch during the skate contests, in the interest of like, you know, if you're doing it with another person, it'll show you what input they did so you can try to match it.
Yes, exactly. I'll call that out to you in a little bit, because we're gonna do 2 more games of skate in this run, but you'll be able to see that when we do the one with Eric here in a second. But right now, since we just won that contest, Shingo actually just called us up and let us know that that photo that we took earlier is actually in the magazine, and he just saw it down at the skate shop. So we're getting down there, but you noticed how I did that weird power slide after the bench there? There's a very small area where you can power slide to trigger the cutscene from the skate shop, while also not going far enough forward so you can still grab the challenge here, which is called the Jubba Jingle Jam. And kind of like before, this is going to be another 2-minute contest. We only have one more in the run after this, actually, and it's about halfway through, but for this one, instead of being best trick, it's just a jam. So this is also one that you really want to be careful with. Since you just have to get as many points as, you know, you want, it can be really easy to, again, like, do the longest grind, do the longest power slide, the longest, you know, manual, anything like that. I almost just want to get into it so you can see it, but you'll see it in the films right after this. So what I normally do,
going back to what you were talking about with the like individual tricks as well, and like even when you're trying to show off like here's a heel flip and you do a shove it, like through all 3 games, it's so easy for the stick movement to be just slightly different.
yes.
And that's like plus 30 seconds every time you fail a challenge because you did a slight wrong misstep on the analog stick. So it's really important to like be quite precise. The game's more about precision than it is a lot about like speed tech, right?
Yeah,
It's also different based on your stance.
Yeah, so right now I'm in regular stance, but if we are in goofy stance, it would be like this, where you're just facing the other way. But when you're facing the other way, all of the trick names, you know, are opposite. So, like, you know, instead of flicking to the left for a kick flip, flicking to the left now is going to be a heel flip. And since I'm, you know, normally regular, it's going to say switch on the side, but it can be very confusing for starting out too. But the thing, kind of like with what Expired said, when you're going in between Skate 1, Skate 2, and Skate 3, even, you know, the feel of a kickflip can change just a little bit because the physics engine is, you know, a little bit, or has been changed, you know, to allow more tricks to be done and things like that. So it can it feel a little odd switching in between the games, especially if you know, maybe play Skate 3 all the time and then you go try to play Skate 1, it might feel, you know, kind of like heavy.
Yo, you rocked in
But
that
we
set.
just destroyed that contest, and now the shop actually wants us to film a little sponsor tape for them. So for this first one, all we need is 1,000 points, and I landed a little sketchy, but if I did 2 360 hard flip 180s with a little manual in between, I'll perfectly get over 1,000 points every time with just the 2 tricks. But we had to do a 3rd trick there, but it's not a huge deal. We just have to get through these menus. We're gonna get the sidekick pop up one more time, and then we gotta do 3 more photos. So I'm gonna do line it up going up this hill, and I'm gonna make use of that fast pushing just to kind of recover. One thing you do have to be careful with here is the cars and the pedestrians. They're in different places every time you play. So sometimes there's no cars on the street. Sometimes you get run over.
Skate 1 cars don't hold back as either. No, I think it's just because you're going uphill. But Skate 1 cars, they don't hold back at all. They're like, the drivers are maniac. They're very, very happy to just run you straight over. So, dodging cars, basically being in the road is just scary. Especially if you're on the side of the road, the cars are coming to you.
It's very scary. Especially when they're coming from behind you, yeah. Because you can't see until it's too late. Now we're going to do Crank It. This is the next film. So I just have to do a 540 here. Not like a 540, just a 540 total. And then we're going to do a 30-foot grind. This is where you're going to see that slowdown screen I talked about, though. Definitely went a little faster than I needed, but that's okay.
Damn, that was so ill.
And I'm not going to go all the way down the hill just because I have to do 3 grinds totaling 30 feet here next. And I don't want to go too far down the hill because I want to land exactly where my next challenge starts. Might be going a little too slow. Yeah, we're getting a little bit more of a grind. If I can pop out of this, we should be in like the perfect spot for it. Right in front of me is going to be Seb, our photographer from earlier. And we're going to grab a storefront photo right in front of Regs. It's a pretty easy challenge, but I found out last week if you actually do a nollie, or sorry, if you do a nose manual and then just immediately pop out of it, it's a little bit faster than actually doing the manual. Sometimes these games are very particular with the requirements for a challenge. Like this one said that we had a gap to the street and we had to do 1 manual. Sometimes it'll say that and like a nose manual won't count, but then other times it'll say that you have to do a 360 flip and any board that, you know, or any trick that spins similar to a 360 flip still counts. So
yeah, that's most of the speedrun, right? It's bending the rules. They give us the clear rules of like, touch this, do this, and we're like, what if I don't quite do it the way you'd expect me to?
Right? We get to show that off on this challenge right here too. So because we've got, you know, a couple storefront photos, we want some contests, we got a sponsor tape that we just filmed up and down the block there. We're now going to meet up with Mike Carroll from Girl, and he wants us to do a line worth 600 points and then also hit 3 of these ledges. Now, we literally just have to hit them. Like you saw, I just bonked into that last one there with a little nose manual. You could just do like a manual combo and kind of like tap each one.
But still, look, you were talking about, you know, sometimes you have to do something different than what's written on the card, but that was exactly what it asked for. It said hit 3 ledges, and you did.
Exactly. Sometimes it's very particular, and then sometimes you can definitely bend the rules, like Expired was saying.
Yeah, in some of the later runs, it's stuff like nose manual on the ledge, and all it ever checks for is that you touch the hitbox of the ledge. So if you just nose manual into the ledge, it normally counts. And that's this one. They've actually done a good job of wording it so that it's like what it actually is. But the later ones, they kind of word it differently to how the criteria is checked.
So this one is Stack My Tables. It's a little harder than it looks. The first and second skate games don't have any difficulty options, so you can't like make locking onto grinds any easier or harder. But sometimes that gravitational pull is like a really strong magnet, and then other times it's like it doesn't want to lock you into the grind at all. We got very lucky there. We're gonna go into our next film here. It's called Tape Heads. We got to do a 21-foot jump, which we can do right off of that corner there if we're lucky, and then we just need 1,500 points. And this is gonna unlock the next, I believe the next. No, we got one more challenge, and then that unlocks the next magazine photo, sorry. But we are going to go do another photo. You'll notice a difference between a regular photo and a magazine photo is at the very end. With the magazine photos, where the game wants us to pick the photo that looks the best and most realistic for the magazine, but you'll see that I normally just pick the first photo when that happens, because it's all, or not normally, I always do. First one is the fastest. But like for this challenge, we're not going to get that screen at the end because it's not actually a photo for the magazine, it's just a photo. I don't know if that means that's not good enough for the magazine or what, but we won't have to pick a photo here. It does still show them all to us, but we'll be able to just hit continue at the end and go to the next one.
Can you imagine buying one of these magazines? Like every picture you look at, it's just like a dude laying on the floor, just a picture of a wall.
Right,
if it's the first photo, is it the last part of the frame of photos, or is it the first one? I know in Skate 3 it's always just like someone's back because
That's
it's
exactly
like
what I was thinking. If it's someone about to start a trick with their back facing the camera. Perfect.
yeah.
No notes. Let's use that one.
The billboards are so funny in Skate 3. The billboard photos, because it's always just like the back in the bottom half of the skater, and it's the entire billboard. And the thing with those billboard photos is when you're skating around in the world, each one is tied to a different district, which Expired will explain later. But you actually see those billboards in the world, so it just looks so goofy. But now, we're going to go do that next game of Skate. And like ateatree was saying earlier, if you look in the bottom left, it'll say set the trick. So Eric is going to go first. We need Eric to fall, but it's going to show the directional input. Well, if Eric would have landed the trick, it would have showed the directional input. Oh, this is not good. Okay, we're okay. There are a lot of pedestrians here. I was a little nervous I was going to land on top of one of them. But see,
yeah, I mean, it's incredibly easy to fall over in this game, right? Like that's, it's
so
kind of,
easy.
it's very, very simmy. So touching anything, landing slightly awkwardly is just immediate fall over. So I know Super makes it look really easy, but it's so much harder. So with pedestrians around, it's dead scary.
Even just consistently doing the double kick flips and then the double heel flips and, you know, doing the same tricks consistently that you're trying to do, even that it's really hard. Because the sticks have to be so precise, but I mean, if you only main these games, you put a lot of mileage on these sticks. They can get a little touchy after a while. But we're doing good so far, and
I was gonna say we can see from this, it kind of looks like the double variant of these flips is something the CPU just doesn't know how to do.
Yeah, so it's kind of tricky because sometimes Eric will land all of them. But I think it has to do with the fact that the board has to do a whole extra rotation over the mailboxes right there. Because this is the only game of Skate, at least in the run, that we have to do over like an obstacle. So the more times we can make the board spin, the better. But you know, we could do like laser flips or like inward heel flips, things like that. But that also gives us more rotations to clip. Because it is very hard to just like make it over this every time.
Yeah, we'll see later in the run as well what happens when a skater actually doesn't know how to do a trick.
Yes.
Because we do abuse that a little bit. Unfortunately on this one we can't do any tricks that Eric doesn't know. As you see, you can still get them, but
normally
from the later game
the nollie variant isn't what he's gonna land, but that was wild, especially a heel flip. Normally he'll
yeah, very unfortunate. This is the heaviest part of RNG in Skate 1 basically, and you basically for a really good run you just rely on he has to bail first time and then bail every time you do a trick.
Yeah.
So it's quite brutal.
Damn, you need Eric?
Luckily we only have to do it one more time. But now that we've done that, we're gonna head over to the next contest of the run, or actually the final, well, not the final contest. The run ends with the contest, I guess. But we're gonna go to Poolside Chill. Instead of starting this challenge though right away, I am going to do a film just to get myself over there a little faster. So for this, we just got to do 8 seconds of air. Also got to do 720 degrees of spinning. And then we have to do... I did not want to... I had a feeling that was going to happen. I did not want to get that close.
This is what we mean about it being easy to bail. Yeah.
I didn't want to do that close.
And you're over.
Yo, I am rolling.
As well, what Super's doing here, it says that he needs to do 8 seconds of air, but he's trying to do smaller time of air because it actually rounds the time you spend in the air. So it's possible he only spent 8 seconds in that whole challenge and did 8 seconds in the air, even though he was on the ground a lot of the time, right?
Yeah. And then luckily we're able to just do that and then grab this challenge, so we can, you know, kind of waste that few seconds of pushing, or you know, eliminate the few seconds of pushing by adding that film there.
And now we get 2 minutes to take a breather after we've hit a really, really good time at Eric in the game of Skate. Calm the nerves.
Yeah, just get a couple minutes to just cruise around. Just gotta make sure you don't, you know, decide to do like a big grind in the pool here and hit that slow down screen. But as long as you get over like 15,000 points, you're kind of good to just chill around. But I think you're okay even with like 10,000. But again, too, you know, just try. You normally just do 5, you said?
I'm not sure they do 5. I normally just
Oh, yeah.
mindlessly ollie around the pool until the end.
Right. Yeah, I just normally skate around and just kind of have fun here. Like Expired said, it's just like a nice little break. Calm the nerves before some stressful challenges, and also calming the nerves before the new portion of the route starts. How this route used to do for Career 100% is we would do similar to like X Games %. We would do all of the Skateboard Magazine challenges. And then after getting the cover, we would do all the Thrasher challenges. But how we do it now is once those Thrasher challenges get unlocked, which is right after our next challenge, actually, we're going to go kind of do that in between and, you know, save a ton of time doing so.
That was kind of
But
Hall of Meat. Hall of Meat.
yes, we do get to do the one Hall of Meat challenge in here. I'm very excited for it. And,
Yeah, I know it's way expanded upon in Skate 3, but yeah, I had friends who would just we would trade bail videos back and forth.
Oh, it's so fun. Just wait until you see the new Skate 3 route too. You're gonna see a lot of Hall of Meat challenges.
Excellent.
The safer
Hopefully
route
no
for that-
Hall of Meat in Skate 2 as well.
Yeah.
Right.
In Skate 2, you don't want to hit the Hall of Meat. You hit the Hall of Meat, I think it's like what, like a 15-second time loss or something.
At least, yeah.
If you break a certain amount of bones, the Hall of Meat screen will pop up and, you know, give you the whole intro for it. But you can get through the whole game without seeing that at all. So
Not to be a Debbie Downer, but you're most likely going to see it. in
No.
Skate 2.
No, you three can get through the game without seeing the Hall of Meat screen. The rest of us, not so much.
I don't know about that one with me.
Fair enough. We'll see when we get
I
there.
still get it sometimes too. So when we load into this challenge, since we load right on top of the challenge marker, we can just be smashing the Y button to get it right away. It's such a sketchy challenge, but we got it. So you have to ollie on top of that little bus stop right there, but that's actually a really hard gap to do. There's also like a, I don't know if there's an invisible wall on top. Sometimes you'll land in manual and it'll just stop you. So I don't know. I always get nervous for that challenge, but we got through it, and now we're gonna go get ready for the first Thrasher challenge. So you notice how I went to that district and then I hit a button. I pressed Y and it changed from the Skateboard Magazine challenges to the Thrasher challenges. So anytime we want to switch between the two, we have to make sure we do so on the map, or else we're just going to be looking around everywhere for the challenge going, hey, where is this?
Yo, I got it. Check it out.
On our way up to Photo G, which is the first Thrasher Magazine challenge, we're going to get a cutscene. So that's why I stayed back by the edge of the shade right here from these trees. If we go too far forward, we actually won't trigger that cutscene. And you saw I was very close to it. But if you don't trigger that cutscene, you can't start this challenge.
The initial goal of the reroute was to skip this cutscene, but as you say, Super, if you skip the cutscene, you can't start the challenge. You kind of like lock yourself until you skate round and see the cutscene again.
Yeah.
So the reroute saved time in the end anyway, but that was the original idea behind it, which is kind of amusing.
I don't know if I've ever first tried that in a run. That last challenge is very difficult. The little ramp that you use to get up there it's like a bunch of different shapes, so it just kind of throws you in different directions sometimes. But I got enough pop and we made it onto that one, so I'm very happy. We're gonna go do the next follow challenge now, and this one we really have to pay attention. You're not gonna see me like skate in front of Freeway too much. Freeway can go, I think, 4 or 5 different ways, and one of the ways I saw for the first time the other day, so really just got to stay on your toes here. But we're gonna follow Freeway all the way to Slappy Skate Shop. But, you know, just like with Shingo earlier, we've got a distance we have to stay within him, so we've got to stay within 210 feet. I don't think he can turn down this street up here, so he should just be, you know, staying to the left for a bit. But
I think you can get right there, actually.
Can he?
Yeah, I've seen him do that before. Yeah.
Okay. So I think there might be six ways he
There's
can
so
go.
many
then.
ways. It's horrible.
So here I'm gonna
we're
almost
facing the
stop.
real enemies of the game, right? The
Right.
cars.
So where I stopped right
Very
there, he can actually go to the left. And, you know, if you're not ready for that, you're going to fail the challenge immediately. And we're probably 30 seconds into the challenge at least already, so we don't want to do that at all. He can also go to the right here and ollie over a bunch of stairs. I'm just going to keep my distance. He's either going to go to the right and cut across, or he's going to stay left. Oh, he's going to go right. Oh, that was so close. I almost hit the rail, and then I almost hit the old lady too. But we're good. Falling at, you know, really fast speeds, especially during follow challenges like this, I mean, you can go from 2 feet to a couple hundred feet in just a matter of a second or two. So better to just play this one safe, stay behind him. I'm gonna be a little risky right here just to save that last second. And we made it to Slappies. And now we're gonna go do our last round of skate for the entire trilogy. Actually, we only play skate in the first game, and we do it 3 times. But we're gonna go play skate with the one and only P-Rod. Now, if you played this game before, you probably know the trick here. For some reason, the skaters in the game aren't, I don't know if they're like not programmed to be able to like, copy a 540, but if you do a 540 anything, an ollie even, or an ollie, a kickflip, anything with a 540, P-Rod won't even attempt it. Neither will the other skaters. It's just, it's a lot harder to consistently pull them off without using glitches at the other spots. But just like with Eric and Shigo earlier, P-Rod does get to trick first, so we're just gonna reset every time he does a trick.
And he's really good.
Yeah, he's the one and only.
I think first try this and a good Eric, the RNG on that is not the easiest to get.
There we go.
One quite RNG heavy. Nice. That was still fairly early. I think I've seen like 10 in a row or something.
Yeah, I had one. It was really bad. Our last practice, I think I had Eric land like 6 or 7, and then I think P-Rod landed like 10. It was like a couple minute time loss, you know, because doing a no reset run, you can't just be like, oh, I wanna reset because I did a 360 on accident or something.
Yeah.
Even there, it's very easy to mess up doing the 540 here. He's gonna land a 360. So to do the 540, I'm gonna do a really high pop, and then I'm gonna mash both of my sticks to the right, just to get that last little bit of rotation to count. But if you don't, you know, like mash the sticks to the side you're trying to spin right away, you're not gonna get the full rotation.
You need a full pop as well, like the biggest possible pop.
You might have noticed on that,
for
that pop right there, the camera was almost completely under my skater. That's what you're looking for on this challenge. On the other ones, you don't want to pop as high, just because the higher you pop, the more time you're wasting. But on this one, you want to really be popping up to the top of the screen. He won't land this though, and then we just have to do one more. And then we're going to move on to a couple death races. You got any death race fans? Death races are
like the Grindhouse movie.
Oh no! So death races in the skate games are. just to clarify, in case you know someone hasn't played before, death races are like they kind of say they're very extreme races on skateboards. So you know we'll just be racing through downtown or racing through the hills and everything with a bunch of other skaters, but we're gonna have to worry about all the cars around us and everything else. They can get quite interesting, but you'll see them in this game, and then you'll also see them in Skate 3.
Supper.
Now we're gonna go race to Slappies. We're staying in the same district. We're just gonna go up here and then race down to Slappies. It's gonna look very similar to the follow challenge that we did with Freeway. It's basically the same path. It's all the same streets. But on that one part where I stopped before and said that Freeway could go left, you're gonna see us go that way this time.
Yeah, so the death races in this game, they're kind of designed around that you have a start and an end, and you have a timer at the bottom, and if that timer hits 0, you lose basically. And every time Super passes through a gate, he gets a little bit more time added onto his timer. So the goal is to just pass through gates, keep increasing the time, and hopefully get to the end before it hits 0. It's pretty easy to do if you know the route and you know where you're going, but the real goal is like sometimes, especially in the later death races, we want to skip gates because it's slower to go through them. So you kind of need a good amount of speed built up so that you can skip them, like Super just did there.
I was trying not to hit the grass.
Nice.
That was so close.
Yeah, the cars can be really grim here if they're like passing each other, because to try and squeeze between the space between the cars is very, very tight, and it's a tight angle. And if you touch them even at all at this speed, you're just going to fall over straight away.
I have no idea how you control this guy with this camera angle at this speed.
Here we go now.
So close.
It's insane.
I was really hoping that worked. If you bail into that last hole that I hit there, you can kind of like wrap around it. But it doesn't always work. We're gonna do another race right here. It's what's called Hell's Bowels. We're gonna do this down the spillway. This one can be really sketchy. There's only a couple different paths, and we're gonna be going down these big tubes here. But it can be pretty easy if you let the other skaters get in front of you right away, for them to fall and then you to trip over them. So I'm gonna try to get in front of Sammy and Mikey as fast as possible here.
Maybe I might win something for
I hate this challenge. It's so easy to get caught on these skaters.
Right?
They can fall over, see how they just fell over there. They
Yep.
can fall over directly in front of you and you have like no escape. You're falling over too. But the minute you're in front of them, it's a little bit more friendly.
It's really friendly. The getting through the end of this can be super sketchy because you see how it's not a flat surface there. If you're going too fast, you can get air off of like any of those corners. Ooh, that's should be okay because we're still up top. As long as we don't fall on the bottom here, we're still able to make this gap up top. That's what matters the
You're a
most.
legend, dude.
And then I'm gonna face this way for our next film, which is called Become the Board.
Dude, you skated dumb fast.
For this one, we've got to spin around a total of 1,080 degrees. We got to get 10 seconds of air, and we got to do 5 grabs.
Roll it.
You're gonna see me do a lot of those little nollie pops on the way up here, and then once I get to the top, I'm gonna start spinning, and then spin around this corner to our next challenge, and then I'm just gonna do my 5 grabs here.
Yo, that was sick.
And then we're going to be able to grab Manny Madness here, which this challenge looks super simple, but
I hope you're psyched.
it is,
Okay,
it's
this is
very
gonna make a
difficult.
sick
So there's
sequel.
going to be 2 boxes in front of us. We just have to manual both of them in one sequence. But, you know, pray that no skater goes in front of us, and then also pray that we don't lock into a grind or somehow miss our flick. Because sometimes when you're trying to hold those manuals, it can be a little difficult to get that high pop out of it. But we got it. Only took 2 tries, not bad. We're gonna go do another manual challenge after this. Instead of doing 2 manuals though, we're gonna do 2 flip tricks and 1 long
Couldn't have done
manual.
it cleaner. That was it. Let's go.
The strat for this next one's pretty simple. If you just do a kickflip and then a long manual all the way down, you can actually pop shove it out of that. I know it's a little weird. The game's gonna say that it wants us to do 2 flip tricks that I don't think a lot of people would technically consider like a pop shove it flip trick. But the game counts it here, so we definitely take it. Kind of
Anything
funny.
but an ollie.
Yep.
Or a nollie.
Alright, so you do a kickflip, long manual, and then just pop shove it right at the end and get through that. Nice and easy. So this next one, we're gonna go do New Jack. We're gonna teleport to New Jack. It's one of the more difficult skateboard magazine challenges, I would say. But before we start that, we actually have like a huge run up to the challenge. So we're gonna do another film on the way. We're gonna do Off the Deep End. For this one, we've got to do, I believe, 8 seconds of air in a 15-foot grind. Oh, there it is. It's number 4. Yeah, and then
Yo,
3
make this one
grabs. So
fresh.
I'm going to do the 15-foot grind first, right here. You might have saw Seb standing on the corner over there.
know you're supposed to bow when you see royalty. Loser.
I was kind of hoping I would keep moving in the other direction a little bit more, but that's okay. You want to try to end the film, you know, within proximity of being able to grab the next challenge.
All right, this is for
We're a
New
little
Jack.
too
You
far, but not the end of the world. So here, what I normally do is I just hold forward on the left stick. I do 5 pushes. I do the biggest ollie possible. Nice. And then a double grab. If you stay to
So
the left
scary.
there, it's very scary. So you'd think you'd want to land on the right because it's a lower platform.
That was a good one. That
But
was
if
so
you
good.
stay
The
to the
mag is
left
gonna
there, it's
flip
like the
when they see
game
this
almost
one.
magnetizes you
Good
into
job.
that grind if you pop high enough. It actually makes it a ton easier. But it's still not free. We've got another race coming up here, but before we do so, we're gonna go to Reg Skate Shop and we're gonna go grab our wheel sponsor. Because you know, the first skate game is just living that dream of, you know,
Yo,
a pro
catch up for the
skater.
few. Oh, come on.
winning contests, getting footage, getting sponsored, making it to the top. And now we've got 2 out of 4 sponsors down. Yep, I mean,
Getting
you
hit by a
gotta...
bus and an hour later, you're a professional skater sponsored for everything.
Exactly. So you might have noticed on the top of the screen, it had a little... It said press Y to enter the shop, and I skated away to make that disappear. If you don't skate away to make that disappear, when you load into your next challenge, it won't let you start it right away. So we would then have to like skate away from this dude and come back, and that adds a lot of time that we don't want to do. So that was a really good find. I think Expired, I think you found that the other week. That was super helpful. I didn't... It might have been a while ago.
Year ago.
And I just heard about it the other week. Maybe that was it. The nice thing about that, about this challenge is you can also use it for practice on the YOLO film at the end of the run called Mountain Man. That huge jump that you saw me do in the first street, we're going to use that for a film later and do a 60-foot jump off of it. It's a little hard to do, but we got it. Oh. So you can do the nollie pops to go a little faster, but you might have heard my wheels got a little wheel bite there, and I did slow down a little bit. So it can just be, you know, fastest to just try and, you know, take the best line that you can here. But you can just, you know, throw some nollies in every once in a while just to go a little bit faster. We're going to use this tunnel here, though, to do another film challenge. And if we end the film far enough down the tunnel, we're going to get an instant warp to our next challenge, and we're not going to get the loading screen for it. So we got to do metal detector, just get 4,000 points here, but it is a little difficult because, you know, you can't hit the sides or anything. You fail from just about anything in these games, especially the first and second one.
That's the way you skate.
But we made it to the end. We can see the opening of the tunnel. So now we're going to go over to hole in the wall, and if we're at the right spot, it should just bring us there without giving us a load screen. Nice. And that saves a good amount of time, especially being able to do those 3 fast try pushes right there to start. So this, we've just got to jump through this hole in the wall, get 150 points, and if I do a 360 shifty and I land it clean, I'll get just enough for it. That was very close. If you don't land clean, like you might have saw, I kind of bonked off of the curb there. If you don't land clean, I think you get 144 points, which is just kind of a letdown. Not what you want to happen there. Play this a little safe. We're going to do a grind, a flip trick, and a manual. I'm going to get some points here. Hopefully there's not a car in front of me. We're good. Get some speed, double grab for a 24-foot jump, and then power slide to finish it. And then we're going to be ready to do our next film, which is one of my least favorite.
Yo, keep it up, dude.
Right here. We're going to have to do 6 grinds, which is very... can be very difficult with all these cars here.
Go.
I did not get the best RNG. I'm going to have to go through this pole. Oh. Try to do 6 grinds as fast as possible. And then I'll start doing my spins in between this block before we get to this little hill. Oh, no.
Damn.
That's a really big time loss. That's about 20 seconds. Oops. That's another time loss. So that right there is called the replay, the edit replay menu. You hopefully don't go into that your entire run. It allows you to, like, edit the footage that, you know, Retta, the person who's filming what you're seeing right now, you can edit the footage that they take all the time, but we don't want to do that in the middle of a speed run. I'm gonna take this a little safer.
Yeah, that's the brutal thing about these challenges, because like we said before, it's so easy to fall off, especially with the film challenges, where it basically takes 30 seconds to complete the criteria for it. If you fall over near the end of that, you lost the whole 30 seconds you just did, plus you're not progressed at all, you get extra menus to go through. It can be really quite painful.
I tried to do that film very safe just because I didn't want to fail it a second time, and you might have noticed I only had 1 second left to actually finish that challenge when I did, so we got very, very lucky there. That's not one that you want to do a second time, especially not a third, especially this far into the run. But this is one of my favorite challenges, especially casually. I've always loved this challenge. So what we have to do here is we have to do a frontside 5-0 and then move into a frontside tail slide. And since I am skating regular, I'm skating towards this backside. So I've got to do a little 180 so I can hit it frontside. Land in that 5-0 and then just use the sticks to turn my board all smoothly to the right there and land in that tail slide at the end.
Hey,
it, Seb. Man, the coverage just
But now that
keeps
we've done
on
that,
stacking
we are
up.
now
Check this out.
doing the
mag
photo
wants
for
you
year's best.
For year's best.
How you doing?
Now all we have to do
So,
here
come find
is
me,
we have
we'll
to
get
air
some-
over the hip that the photographer is standing on, gap in front of those 2 pillars, and get 500 points. Now, it can be a little more difficult than it says, but we got it first try. I kind of flipped when I dropped into the pool there. I did like an ollie into the side. If you don't land clean going into the pool, you won't get enough points to clear that gap. You're very, very close there. But we got it. We're going to go do another Thrasher film challenge now, towards the bottom of the map, over at Zen Plaza.
We need to skate with him.
For this one, it's like there's a big rock formation art piece. And we have to do a grab over
Sorry
them.
about the trick here.
But we don't actually have to grab over the rocks. You just have to grab over the base that the boulders are on. So we can just go right here in the middle and just do a big grab, and we're good.
Could be one of the easiest challenges in Skate 1.
Yeah. When I played the game casually, I thought you had to actually hit over the boulders and, was just trying to,
You ain't feeling it.
get whatever
always
photo
do the
looked
challenge again.
the best. But it's so funny to just see the picture every time in the speedrun. You might have saw there at the end I had a little pop-up. We did just unlock our shoe sponsor, so we have to go all the way down to Slappy's, go inside the shop, and grab our 3rd sponsor. We're gonna grab our shoes. We just grabbed the first one. It says it doesn't matter too much. The only sponsor that really matters is the first one that you pick. Oops, there we go. Almost went to wheels. And then now that we're here, let's do another film challenge. We're gonna do Elbow Jam. This one was really just not fun to do in the old route, but it's really not bad here. We're gonna do a manual, a flip trick, a grind, and then we just gotta get some points. And we're gonna use this hill to just do a nice, easy 45-foot grind.
Yo, that was locked in.
30 feet.
Yo, peep this.
Oh, did I say
Really
30?
big grind.
Yeah,
Well,
45.
it's 45 that you need. You did
Yo,
70
killed
feet.
it in
You
that one.
absolutely
Yeah,
smashed the goal.
Hey man, it's Mike. Again. Time to go.
Sometimes,
Later.
I don't know, sometimes it's not the right time to pop out of a grind.
Yeah, if you pop at the wrong time, then it's really easy to hit the curb wrong and bail. And
Yeah, and sometimes
like we
too,
said, bailing's bad.
yeah, bailing's very bad, especially during those. I'm gonna try to do a couple fast pushes. I'm just gonna do a big shifty. I did a kickflip as well. Oh, almost forgot to teleport back to our session marker. So you notice I teleported back to where we started right at the start of this. This photo was done in a no skate zone, and we haven't done very many of them, but the Thrasher challenges all have to be done within a no skate zone. So we have to stay in an area where security can chase us, and for this one, we're gonna have to do 4 grinds and get 1,500 points. I'm just gonna try to be pretty safe with some of these challenges just because of time loss from before.
Dude, I'm so psyched you did that right now.
But one is down. This next one can be very particular.
Yo, that one is a keeper.
You know how before we were saying sometimes you can do a nose manual when it just says manual?
I'm
Well, you see how this says do a nose manual, a flip trick, and a manual? This actually only counts like certain tricks in between. Sometimes it just doesn't count it. It doesn't like my hard flips, I guess. There you go.
Yo,
I don't know
check
the
it.
deal with that one. Sometimes it just does not count my nose manual, flip trick, nose manuals.
Damn,
I know
man,
it
that
doesn't
one
count
was
shove it's
fresh.
there. But usually it counts everything else.
Yeah, I think I always just do a kickflip, just to be safe.
I'll have to try that next time. Maybe that's just what it is like actually looking for. It's like, oh, you're spinning
Yeah.
the board too much.
The second you replay this, you're gonna be psyched.
Well, speaking of Hall of Meat, though, we're gonna actually go do our Hall
Hell
of Meat
yeah,
challenge
son.
now.
Yeah, it's Mike here again.
Hall of Meat, you know, evolved a lot into Skate 2 and then
Don't
Skate
worry,
3.
If you don't land it,
It was
I'm
a
sure
really
you'll get
big,
shouted for Hall of Fame.
a big part of the game. But for this, it's just the one challenge. All we have to do is break 4
Yo,
bones
the dudes
here.
at Thrasher have always celebrated.
But sometimes.
Oh, is that all? That seems easy
Yeah.
enough.
It seems like it would be pretty easy. Especially because we're gonna be going so fast here. Wow, that was a really close call. Couple close calls.
Pedestrians.
I mean, I'm sure you broke at least 4 bones when you got hit by that bus at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You'd
you
think
break
that would
you break
count.
everything. You get full surgery, so that's how they let you do the character creation.
Right.
Full facial
So,
reconstruction.
I didn't get it there. What I like to normally do is do a priced air into the tree, but
Yeah, nice.
because I had to
You
dodge
okay?
some of the pedestrians,
Yeah, that's too hard for
I
you. Why
missed
don't
a
you go back
couple
to
of
the
the
trick
nollie
book?
pops and wasn't going quite as fast as I was used to. But we still got it. We got 2 film challenges next. They're gonna go really,
Man, I'm
really
glad
quick
that
with
was
the
you
new
and
routing
not
here.
me.
First one we're gonna do is Ghetto
Dude,
Blasters.
you
We just gotta do a
skating?
720,
Like photos?
3
That's a
grinds, and
win-win
then I believe a
situation right
15-foot
Yeah,
power
can't lose
slide.
with that combination.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, John Rattray just hit me up. He's
So I'm gonna do those
skating.
nollie
Gnarly
pops
too.
and some 180s just across the street here. Sometimes you fall and it's not even your fault. Sometimes Rob Dyrdek just decides to run into you. Thanks, Rob.
I feel like that's half the time when you're in the road in this game.
Yep.
The road
I
is
hear
not
someone.
safe.
I hear someone coming up by me too. Oh no.
Whoa.
Oh,
That's okay. At least I can show off how it's supposed to be done. Because of how I bailed the
Alright, here we
first
go.
time, I'm starting this challenge goofy when I normally start it regular, which throws me off big time for the grind here. But you want to just do 3 very small grinds and then do
Yo,
that
that's what I
15-foot
wanna see.
power slide because we need to use this hill for the next film challenge too. We have to
Yo,
do a
you killed it in that
24
one.
or it's either a 24 or a 30. It's a 30-foot jump and a 15-foot power
we're
slide.
rolling.
And we can do that super easy by just gaining speed down this hill, doing the big jump, doing the power slide,
Awesome.
and then we just got to get some points. I thought I was gonna run into that car. That was a little sketchy too, but we're doing
I was thinking
okay.
that.
Hey, you psyched on that one? Good. That
We are
one was
doing
great.
okay. We're gonna go to Rainbow Rail next. This one is down here. Now we gotta be pretty careful about how we end this challenge. Just at the end of this, if we skate a little too far, we'll unlock one of the spots for spot
Lots of
battle.
heads are
And if we
skated
do
this
that,
way.
we won't be able to teleport to our next challenge until we skate away from it. But all we have to do here is clear the gap, do 1 grind, and get 350 points, which we can easily do with like a laser flip. But I like to just stop right here so that there is no way I can possibly hit that spot
was
battle.
sick.
'Cause
yeah,
that
if you
is-
unlock the spot battle, you're not allowed to menu until you leave the area.
Yeah.
So it's pretty brutal.
Hello? Hello?
So
Not
this
a friendly
next-
part of the run.
No, not at all.
Run.
Listen, it's time to
This
do
next one, we got to go up to the
something
hospital. We have to do this
As the name
huge gap.
implies,
And
throw
over
down
the gap,
something
we've got to do a
crazy
flip
and
trick and a
Thrasher will run
grab.
it.
Which, you just have to make sure that we do the flip trick and not a big ollie to
Alright,
start.
man, this is pretty nuts.
Doing shifties makes it super easy. There is a rail at the end that we do have to make it over, but we do the shifty grab it. Makes it pretty easy. Just kind of flings yourself over it. And then I'm going to face this direction so we can do a sponsor film challenge right after this.
Oh,
We're just going to
yeah,
have to get
dude.
3,500
Yeah, that was
points.
sick. Now that'll work perfect for
And
your
then
lunatic
after
friendship.
that, we'll warp over to hopscotch. We just got to get through these loading screens. Loading screens are a little faster than normal just because I do have autosave turned on
Go.
just in case, you know, there was a crash or anything, so it wouldn't be a, you know, a total failed run if that happened. Very rare that anything
That's
like
the way
that
you
does
skate,
happen
man.
in skate games, but in fact it's happened a couple times. Just want to be safe and have that autosave turned on.
I think
And now
Skate
we-
2 is the most likely to soft lock out of
Yeah.
all of the skates.
Luckily,
what's up,
Skate
man?
2 though, you
It's
can't
mine.
turn off autosave. So even if
I
it
just
does
saw you
stop
in your
lock, you just have to like
It's kind of funny. Alright then, man. Later.
do your
Quit out and in, yeah.
quit out and in as fast as
Right.
possible.
When I
don't know why
first learned
that,
Skate 2, I was getting the most
It's
interesting soft locks every other day.
Yeah, but you kept saying that, and I'm like, that's never happened to me there before. And then I think my next run, I tried doing what you were doing, and it happened. I was like, oh, okay. This challenge is a little more difficult than it looks. You can't see the islands that you have to grind due to how the camera is, so it's kind of just like having faith and tricking into the next grind. But we got it. And now we're going to save that other sponsor film that we've been saving. We're going to use that right now. Oops. The first one. I got really lucky with when that car hit me. If they would have hit me a second later, it would have just failed the challenge. But I've got to get 5,000 points, and we're going to do so while heading over this way. Because we got to get into another no skate zone for our next couple film challenges.
Yeah, I think
So-
when you were hit by that car there, if you start the challenge in the bail animation, then it just instantly fails, right?
Yeah. Can you explain this challenge for me? This one's pretty tough.
Yeah, so we're in a no skate zone. As you see, we've gone into high cam because we're getting chased by the security guard, which is where the red arrow is. He can go pretty quick, and if he gets to us, he will push us off the board. So it's all about just trying to, you know, complete the criteria. Especially the grinds can be really awkward to hit sometimes, while still not getting run over, which Super did effortlessly.
I'm glad we got it.
Hell yeah, son.
We gotta do another one here though. This one is called four-wheeling. We gotta get 5,500 points here.
Roll.
Didn't want the pedestrian stand in there. I wanted to start my combo a little early, but looks like we're gonna have another go at it. Hopefully the security guard isn't too close to me. Hey, at least he fell over. Let's try this again.
And if we think that the security guards are scary in this game, then just wait till Skate 2.
Oh yeah, especially with the new
Security
Heki
guard.
tech.
That was
Yeah,
beautiful.
the security
You're
guards
gonna have a
are
whole
on
party.
steroids in that game.
That was ripped.
But doing those two film challenges right there just unlocked interview for us and another spot in the magazine. So we're gonna go do the headshot here. All we have to do is a 6-foot grind on the coping and the spool. I am gonna try to do it the intended way just because it is a little faster. If I don't get it first try, I'll go for backup. I did not quite get it. I mean, one more attempt at it. We just drop into this pool, start a nose manual. I didn't get it. That's okay. There's just a little section of this pool that has the coping to grind. You can go over here, set a session marker, just ollie into it and ollie out. Makes it super easy, but you know, if you can perfectly drop into the pool there and pump into the grind without, you know, airing out or anything, you can save, you know, another second
Yo, it's
there.
your photo. Pick one. If you ain't feeling
But
it,
don't want to waste
you
too
can
much
always
time
do
trying to
the
show it
challenge
off. Rather just show off the backup strat there as well. But we did just unlock our truck sponsor. We got our 4th sponsor. So we're going to go down to Slappy's Skate Shop for the last time.
That makes us a pro, right?
Oh, yeah.
All 4
We're going to be a
sponsors.
pro. Since we're going to be a pro, I have a feeling that Mr. Danny Way might be inviting us to come skate with him soon. But I don't know. We're going to have to see. Got a couple more challenges before then first. We are going to go do one more pro challenge. This challenge does show off a little glitch in the game, which is nice. So if, actually, Expired, I'm going to let you explain the landing glitch while I do this challenge.
Yeah, so there's a glitch that's been known for a long time in the Skate 1 community around. Basically, it's a glitch that lets us land from any height in the game, and also it lets us land from flips like halfway upside down. It's crazy. And this challenge, because the challenge is to make it to the ground while getting points, we can just do the glitch to try and land from any height as we jump down this massive drop and not worry about having to do it the legitimate way, where you try and like just squeeze your way down this ledge on the side. The way it works is, as you're about to hit the ground, you kind of do a double grab. Super managed to do it the legitimate way there, which is even more impressive maybe than doing the glitch. Very cool.
Oh, I forgot to split.
Well, you know what might be better?
Oh, that was
We can go
funny.
check out my man
So normally though, when you do it that way, you land down here, and we do need to do our next film down here. So here, I'm gonna see if I can just.
Yo, that drop was
There we go, nice.
That's what the glitch looks like at least. But we have to do bone cracker next.
All right,
So
let's
this
do
we've
it.
got to do 6 grabs. We've got to get 10 seconds of air and then do a 30-foot grind. I'm just gonna get these grabs first, and then again use the hill to my advantage for the 30-foot grind. Let's do a couple nollie pops, get those last couple seconds, and that should be 30 feet.
Yo, the footy's sick.
We've got one more film challenge to do here before we go to the DIY part for a new style of death race that you haven't seen yet. But first, we got to keep rolling. This one, we got to do a flip trick, a grab, and a grind. Oops, I didn't quite get it. I like to do a kickflip. I normally like to kickflip double grab into that. There we go. Thank you. And then we just need the air time. A little bit more grind. And we got it.
Yo, that was
Nice.
Given those 12 seconds of
Yo,
air
that was
time,
some
you know,
tech-ass skating.
it's a little tricky because you do have to pop 12
Yo,
times,
keep
and
it
that's
up, dude.
12 chances to fall over. how I look at it, at least. But we're gonna head
Especially
down
if you're
here.
doing it in the road. 12 chances for a car to come.
Yep. Yeah, 12
Drive
chances
right
for a
into you.
car, or another skater, or a pedestrian. Because the thing is, too, all the other pro skaters in this game are just randomly skating around the open world. So at any point in time, you could run into Rob Dyrdek or Danny Way and, you know, have a little session. But they could also interrupt you during any of your challenges and somehow knock you over. So even though, you know, the challenges themselves are like super consistent, there are a lot of variables within the world that can happen going from run to run. You'll notice here, though, I'm going to skip the first gate, and it's going to say gates missed 2. Now, in the other death races, since it's all like a linear line and it's not laps, they don't fail you for missing X amount of gates, but I think the reason why they did it here is so you couldn't just go through the first gate, turn around, and then like keep going through the finish line. So I'm gonna
So
just...
sad they realized that. It would have been
Yeah,
it
right.
would have been so nice in the speed run.
Would have saved a good amount of time. But you see how it says gates missed 3 of 4. If I miss a 4th gate, it will fail the entire challenge, and we're on lap 3, so we do not want that to happen. So I am going to make sure that I hit this one. Sometimes I'll save my last gate for right here and just skip it, but we are good. Ooh, Freeway didn't even finish. Missed too many gates. Got the DNF. But we're all good. We got that done. We unlocked one of my favorite challenges casually. It's very difficult, but I've always just thought this spot looked really nice. This one's called the content spread. There's a really, really big run-up, so you feel like you want to get a bunch of speed, but it's a very steep ledge that's very short, too. Or, like, short in distance. So if you go too fast, you can completely miss it. So I just like to do 2 pushes, and then we're just going to do a big pop, click the left stick for, like, the smallest increment just to, you know, maybe change my trajectory like 1 or 2 degrees, and then you can pop right into it. 5-0s are pretty consistent, and so are nose slides. At least for me.
That challenge is so hard casually.
It's
Even
very
in
hard.
the run. Yeah, knowing what to do. The ledge is really short. It's really high. It's like maximum pop height. It's just tough. So getting it first try is, you know, quite special, really.
Now this right here is pretty wild. If you've seen like my X Games % runs before, you know that you have to gap over these big stairs, but if you just ollie up onto that little ledge, do a manual, and then trick, it somehow counts you going over all of the stairs, even though you miss half of them. But it is a lot more consistent than the other way. Now we're gonna go do the, I believe, the last death race of the run. Old Town Massacre. We're gonna go back over to Old Town, and then skate down past Slappy's.
Dude, that cover, amazing.
And then after this, we'll be moving into some of the final challenges of the run. It's gonna be, I think there's 3 more films after this, cover, and then the final jam. Unless I'm oh, I forgot about Picnic Table Blast. There's a nice Picnic Table Blast coming up too. So this one right here, you're gonna see there's gates on the left and there's gates on the right, so you can kind of take whatever path you want. But if we go fast enough, we can actually finish it without grabbing any of these extra gates, because there is gonna be one across the street down here. We're just gonna be very close for time for the full race, but we'll be okay. I am going to slow down a little bit here.
Getting hit on the way. If you get hit on the way to that gate, you just run out of time on the way down.
Right? This part can be a little scary too, because you get airtime and, you know, if you don't land perfectly straight or you don't land perfectly the way that you want to be facing, you're either going to fall or run into a pillar or something. I'm going to try to squeeze between here. Nice. We're just going to skip that gate because there's one right here. And this might look a little similar to you from when we did like follow Slappy earlier. Or I mean follow Freeway to Slappies. Or race to Slappies. We go this way quite a few times.
Yeah. It's just iconic, right? Like it's long, fast hills that have tight turns.
Yeah.
You clearly really wanted to reuse them, and rightly so.
It's like the northern part of Skate 2. When you have all the death races in the mountains.
Yeah.
Not bad. Finished it without falling. If you can finish a death race without falling, getting hit by a car, it's pretty good. We are going to go to Picnic Table Blast. This challenge is hiding behind the Jason Dill Pro challenge. when I first started running this route, or a few times where I'm like, where is the challenge? I can't find it.
Will kill you. And I
But know where it is now. This one's also really hard. We just have to blast over the gap and get 600 points. You can either grind, manual, you just have to get the 600 points and land it clean. But
Nice.
it's very hard to do. I actually PB'd my
Yes,
run this morning in
that'll get
practice,
paid.
and I failed this challenge twice. So it's it might look super easy, but it can be a little difficult.
I think I've failed it multiple times on world record pace. It's not a fun challenge. It's so
Oh,
late
I
in the
bet.
run too. Easy choke.
Now, I might be the odd one out here. I did not know for the last 16 years until about 5-6 months ago that you could replay challenges in this game. I had no idea. But what we're doing here is we replayed the death race from earlier. Now we're going to start Mountain Man. You might have remembered me talking about it a little bit. We're going to gain some speed down here. I'm going to do an ollie. I was on 2 wheels.
Come on, kid.
You might have saw my game kind of glitched out for a second, and my board was sideways, stuck on 2 wheels. Definitely lost speed there, and I don't think I would have had enough speed to get the 60-foot jump anyways.
Go.
Hopefully some of those cars move. We just got to get at least 60 feet off of there, which is like really hard to do. We got it. This should be a little safe. So we get down here. Gonna waste a little bit of time just because we have to go this way anyways. And then this gonna be my 720 spinning. And the final trick. Awesome. Okay.
You were gonna put that
Now we got public disturbance next. This one we've got to do a total of 90 feet of grinding,
Yeah,
but
that
we
one's a
also
keeper.
have to still have enough speed and be on a hill so that we can do a 15-foot power slide. And we need
All right, go.
45, 100 points. But since this is all downhill, you can sometimes do it in one. We got 69 there. There we go. We got our 90 feet. I am going to need some more speed here, though, just to get this power slide. And then, uh-oh. There we go. I was like, I just need one
it
more
out,
trick.
man.
Just one more trick.
Yeah, Super even knows what he's doing, and he has 5, and
That
we've
was
done
a
it in the
keeper for
perfect
sure.
place with practice, and there's 5 seconds left of the 30-second challenge. Like, that is,
Cameras on.
it's
we're
hard to stress how hard that challenge is, just in general.
I'm going to land that just to get my 3 times multiplier. I'm going a little too fast for comfort, at least for a marathon setting. We just need the 6,000 points, and we are done. We're going to move on to the final cover before we get to the final challenge of the game. But first, we got to get Skater of the Year. Once we have both covers done, though, we are going to get that little message from Danny Way asking us to come to the Mega Park for the jam. So we got about 4 or 5 minutes left in the run, I would say. And then it'll be Heki's turn for Skate 2 any percent. Y'all get to see the new tech we've been talking about. Here, ooh, this one is a little difficult. You also can't go back to your session marker until you fall and then respawn on the bottom, but you have to do 2 flip tricks and you have to grind the outer ledge there. Not the inner ledge, the outer ledge. So what I like to generally do is a kick flip or a heel flip and then land in manual and then hopefully, kind of just get magnetized into the grind.
Yo, it's your photo.
But it can be so easy to either lock in on the inside or just completely go to the outside.
Welcome to the Mega Compound. You've
So
come
we
a
are
long
going to
way
go
from
over
being
to the Mega
5 bucks to the
Compound now.
covers magazines.
We're going to go become a skate icon. I hope everyone's ready. I sure am. So we're going to have 3, I think 40-second jams here.
You've made covers of.
And depending on if you're 4th place through 1st place, you're either going to get 0 or 3 points that go in a leaderboard. So if we get 1st place on the first 2, and then at least like 2nd, 3rd place on the last one, we should win it no problem. But you just don't want to get it confused with the Danny Way Mega Part from Skate 2, where you only have to win 2 out of the 3. Because you get 4th place on the last one, you do have a chance of still failing it, even if you got 1st place on the first 2 rounds. So we're just going to be cruising here, getting some points, but, keeping it a little safe as well. 15 should be more than enough. I am going to come to a complete stop down here, just I want to... Sometimes it seems like it starts the next round faster. Other times I can't really seem to tell.
Yeah, that seemed quite slow, that one.
Yeah, it seemed very slow. But then sometimes when you're moving, it seems like it takes even longer. I don't know. It might even be dependent on the other skaters here.
Yeah, maybe they need to come to a stop.
Yeah.
You ever failed this challenge on PB pace before, Super?
Oh yeah, I've failed this on world record pace.
It's absolutely devastating.
It's heartbreaking. It's so bad. Because you get here and you're like, oh yeah, this is free, but I mean it's not. It's not good to think that this challenge is free either, because it is very hard. Since you only have the 40 seconds there, let's say you fall on that first gap over the mega ramp. Well, you've already spent like 15-20 seconds of the contest doing that one fall. So, you know, you can get behind very, very fast here. Very fast.
Final round coming up. Let's see what he got.
Alright. Trying to land in a grind here. Didn't land in a grind, but we'll at least use the landing tech so we don't fall. I always like to just try and get first place all 3 rounds. You don't have to worry about it. Should be more than enough here, so go for like a big nose blunt. Didn't happen.
Yes, first place every time, and you're not panicking. I've definitely had some where I'm furiously adding up how many points I would have had to work out if I've lost or not.
Right? And then that is time. Thank y'all so much. Now it'll be Heki or Skate 2 at 80%. When they are ready, counting down.
Yeah, while we get things switched over, chat, if you want to tell us anything about like your favorite moments from the Skate series, your favorite moments in skating video games, your favorite skater, I'd love to hear about any or all of that. You know, feel free to send it in with a donation. You can also tell us if you want that donation to go to our open Pump It Up 20th Anniversary Edition Co-op Showcase to have our runner Zello also do a series of songs with Haru in co-op fashion. Or you can send it in to name the Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town farm after, I don't know, you could name it the Hall of Meat. That'd be fun.
I feel like I used to have a favorite skater back in the day, and now it's super hard to pinpoint one. Maybe Chris Haslam was always one of my go-tos after Cheese and Crackers. That was such a good film.
Cheese and Crackers, one of my all-time favorites. The Day One song is awesome too.
Yeah.
Always love.
We have something coming up in chat. Supa is my favorite skater from chatter Supa Wifey. So thank you very much for coming out and showing support, of course.
My favorite too.
Here, here.
Alright, this is Skate 2. Sit through this loading screen first and then we'll just keep on the show.
Yo, you been in the joint for a while? And Slappy got a new park. It's pretty fresh. Let's go
We're
check
just
it
gonna
out.
start
All right,
as soon
let's
as
get
we...
back
Actually, I need to fix this god-awful camera.
on that pony.
And then we're just gonna go right away now. So
That's
this
the
game
best
starts
edition,
off,
isn't it?
Yo, 2 or 3 pushes,
The
you're
high
on your
cap.
way.
Definitely. This
Hey,
game
you're not
starts
gonna
off a
make
bit
it to
different
Slappy's on
where
your
we
feet.
have
Get on
speed
your board.
glitches and we'll just try and get a little bit of speed to get through here faster. Got 2 semi-slow ones.
See that
Usually I'll
barrier
go for a
right there?
third one
You
here,
ain't
but
gonna make it over it. So you just grab your
I think
board
I'll
and
just chill
cruise
with the
right
speed
underneath
and
it.
follow down the hill. You need to jump up these stairs,
Yo,
which
check
can
this
be
out.
either
While you
slow
were
or
away in
fast.
prison, we all learned
I
how to
don't
get
really
off our
understand how
boards.
it works, but
Hey, dude,
Sometimes
ready
you'll
to
jump with a
skate?
bunch
There's
of
a
heights,
gap up here.
sometimes you won't.
Yo, don't forget to crack a big
I
ollie.
think it's if you like hit the stair in the right way, it just kind of like pushes you forward a little bit. It's definitely a magical incantation of when to press the button.
This game also introduces moving props, and that is the first place you do it. Now we need to meet Slappy. It's faster to not pop here and just fly over and meet him. And then we have to do it again, so I'm going to go back to the marker we set, and this time I do have to pop and land a bit more left. And then I'm going to try and do a power slide to get in place for the next mission before the save icon goes away, because we can't activate them until the save icon is gone. And this one just teaches us basic tricks, which were explained to you in the last run, but if you showed up sometime after that, it's basically just very dependent on how you move the stick, and you can sometimes see... Oops, accidental Mongo push.
Come on, man.
You can sometimes see what they're doing.
Yeah, I like this place a lot. Check it out.
Yeah, we just have to grind this rail. If you don't grind it long enough, it doesn't work, so I like to go really slow and be safe.
Yeah, it's annoying when it's like, oh, you failed the challenge, go again. Okay.
Like,
I
man,
grinded the rail.
I slid over half the rail and you fail me.
Yeah.
We're under this pole. Do our first, I guess, well, second, I guess, pro shot with Atiba. You guys want to explain, like,
yes, so we're normally supposed to move this ramp where the arrows are, but instead of doing that, we just kind of don't and just skate up it really awkwardly. It's incredibly precise and very easy to fall off, especially when you hit that barrel. But yeah, it's the first of many times when we've now learnt to move objects, but we're going to try our best not to because moving objects is slow.
Yo, you need to get back in the game.
it did not work the way I wanted it to. You can open the guide sometimes, and it will grey out the replay editor option, which just lets you do menuing a little bit faster. I'll be trying to do that sometimes, but not too much, because you can mistime them. This goal is not really much going on. Same as the first game, where you have to stay within a certain distance of this guy and hope he doesn't bail, or hope you don't bail. But we know where he's going to go, so we're just going to make our way there without deviating too far from his path. He fell off, so...
I think you might have bailed on that person that you knocked over.
Yeah. So 50 meters, that's fine. No problem there.
Yo, check this school out right here.
Where this goal ends is pretty much where we're going to start the next one, so we're just going to wait here for it to be available. While school's out. Going to do a kickflip over this first set.
Go, 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 go.
In the lore of this game, the city's been taken over by an evil corporation who don't want you to be able to skateboard. And in this first one, you kind of get shown that they've put skate stoppers on all the rails, so you can't skate down the rails. And that's the first sight that we're skating in a different world to the Skate 1 world, where you can kind of freely skate wherever you want to.
If you didn't know, there was also a game that came out in between Skate 1 and Skate 2 that was only on the Wii called Skate It. And during that game, there's a 5-year period where a big natural disaster happens and completely destroyed the city of San Vanalona. And that's why now in Skate 2, it's called New San Vanalona. But because they had to put so much money into, remaking the city, Mongol Corp didn't want any skaters destroying it. So that's why you see all the skate stoppers everywhere, and a lot more heavy on the security in the no skate zones. Instead of there only being like 1 or 2 security guards, you're gonna see sometimes like 4 or 6, sometimes even more.
Wild enough, some of us actually were talking about Skate It yesterday and looked into it. It apparently also came out on both DS and iOS.
Yes,
yeah, they're
there
different
is
games though.
Ah,
Not the same game.
I wasn't surprised. Yeah, like I kind of figured it had to be something like that, knowing that you could use like the Wiimote and the balance board for the Wii Skate it.
The
Yes, I
DS
really
game
want
is
to do a
crazy.
balance board percent run.
Yo, this is coming
Yeah, the
in
DS game's crazy.
One of my
You gotta draw it on the like bottom screen of the DS. You have to like draw the tricks you want to do,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it's just horrible.
Sounds like the kind of game that would absolutely destroy your touchscreen.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I mean, it can destroy your Wiimote or your TV as well. You gotta make sure you have the straps on. You know,
There is always that.
there's weird delay with skated as well. It's like you have to fully flick the Wiimote, and then there's a delay after that you're done flicking it before it actually does the trick.
Oh no.
It's really weird.
This goal is very scary because I am absolutely terrible at grinding things. So I just have to kind of like hope the game takes the wheel.
To
I
that,
reset
the
here.
rail.
I reset here a lot.
the first rail on this challenge too, it does have a mind of its own. There are some things, little skips that you can do in the beginning just to save minute time by doing something called a revert up glitch. Just kind of sends you flying in the air, but any run that I pull that off in the beginning, by the time I get to that challenge and that rail, it's like the rail doesn't load in fully, and you'll go to grind it, and then it'll just toss you hundreds of feet in the air, making it almost impossible to do. It can be a big reset point for sure.
Yep.
It's
So we're
Heki's
trying to-
ready for a pool party now.
Yeah, we're trying to get invited to this pool party, but the dude's like, sorry, you don't know enough pools. We won't let us in. We have to go and find some. Which
Right.
is honestly one of the stupidest ball points I've ever seen, but we're going to do it anyway because we really want to get in there.
You know, you did just get out of, prison like 8 minutes ago, so I think the skaters are just like, wait, who's this guy? Like, where'd he come from? What are you crashing our party for? You haven't even been here since the town was rebuilt. Go find some pools and then we'll talk. But I do still think it's pretty silly because it's like, come on, you don't remember me from the last game 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, where I was a professional skater after being hit by a bus.
Right? I was the skating icon. I don't, your skater doesn't have like a legend name in Skate 2, does it? Because in the first game, you're going to be a skate icon, and then in Skate 3, you're the skate legend.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
Maybe you're just trying to reclaim your name as a skate icon in 2.
Yeah, legend in training, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's 2 of 7 pools. The
We
third
don't have
one
to
we
find all-
find.
Yeah, we don't have to find all 7, right? It's just 3 out of 7 to be invited to the pool party.
Yep, just
Right.
any 3 you want. And then depending on which pools you find, you're going to get a different Thrasher pool challenge to do, which Heki will be doing shortly after these.
Yeah, so we just came back to this goal we already did because there's a pool next to it. So
Yo, this is where we need
go
to
straight over there, and then it'll give us a warp option to go back, which is really nice.
The only
Takes us
place in any
exactly
of the
where we wanna
games you
go.
get that warp option where it just pops up and goes, do you want to warp? It's so
Right.
weird that they put that in.
Like,
Yeah,
hey,
you
you
can also
just
do,
started this game. You might not know how to get back there. You want some help?
Yeah, right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Luckily, if you do miss it, you just have to, I think it's like 3 or 4 inputs. You just open up the menu, go down to career, and then down to Thrasher, and it's the first challenge.
I
At
did
least
that in our
you-
last run, and I had no idea where to go.
I think we've all done that and been like, wait, where is it? What's the challenge even called again?
I think does it default to no, so it's so easy
Holy.
to say no. Oh, nice.
So, I don't know why, but a lot of the time I do this thing, I just air out the back of the pool. And I've spent a couple of hours trying to, like, debug it, but I just can't. And a lot of the time when you touch that balcony at the back, you'll just bail. You seem to just bounce off it and land anyway, which is,
Marathon
nice.
luck. Yeah.
is the main
Yeah.
photographer for Thrasher. So basically, you're gonna be in there.
Right, so now we start doing the real big boy shoots. Gonna head to Technically Hip, where we're gonna do the most insane tricks you've ever seen.
And so Skate 2 introduces a bunch of new tricks. You could do like finger flips and foot plants. You can get off your board like we've shown already, but this is where it shows you how to do the finger flips. If you grab the board and then do a kick flip motion, it'll do the finger flip. And then if you do more of a scooping motion or like a pop shove it motion, it'll do a varial, like a body varial with it.
Yeah.
Thrasher's running that one for sure.
Sometimes it can
Not
be a
sure
bit
what was going on there.
awkward. Yeah, it's about the amount of time left in the air. The game tries to be a little bit friendly about what tricks it lets you do, so that it's harder to bail, although sometimes it will just let you bail. But in that case, I think you just didn't quite have enough air, and the game doesn't want to let you do a trick that it thinks you can't do in that space. It's the same with like body flips. If it thinks you don't have enough like space, it won't even start trying to do one.
Oh, you're gonna love this pool.
This one I'm gonna try and get some quick pumps and fly all the way up to the grindable part. I did. Nice. And then that's 2 grinds. Very quick and easy. Actually a gold by 3 seconds.
Yeah, that seemed really quick. That might actually be quicker than the strat that I used to do,
Pick one you like.
to be honest. Looked really good.
I recently learned that the reason it didn't work for me before is because I was doing the same trick.
Yeah,
Some
again, it
friendly
comes back
advice
to
and
the
now just holding a different trigger.
it comes back to the goal like lawyering of like getting it exactly right, and it explicitly says different ones, and they've actually checked, so you have to do it.
Right.
Over that diving board.
This is another thing I struggle with because you have to pop like pretty much in the right place, otherwise you can clip it on the way up or the way down, and it's just a whole mess of touching it slightly and you just fail.
I feel like
Lose a
that
lot of
challenge
time.
is more difficult goofy too. Just because you're facing the diving board instead of having your back to it.
Ooh, fastballs. Nice.
That was a good fast pause.
It saves 2 save icons, which will be 3 seconds, I think. We're going to explain fastballs while I do these.
Yeah, so to do the fast puzzle, you know, every time one of these challenges end in the bottom corner, it's a saving content, do not turn off your console. If you pause right before that happens, like I think it might just be like even a 1 or 2 frame window. It's very small. If you pause at the right time, you can skip that and pull your menu up before that happens and go to the next challenge without having to wait. So sometimes it's like a 3-second time save. I think even on a couple challenges, if you get it at the right time, it can be like 5+ seconds. This challenge here is pretty nice. There's just a big stair set, and you just have to do 3 different flip tricks over it. And then right afterwards, the next challenge is just directly to the left. Super similar. Instead of 3 flip tricks, you're gonna do 3 different grinds.
Yeah, I'm about to warm up on this rail right here.
But,
Yeah, so I'm gonna be kicking the board away like as fast as I can because it gives you the same effect of being grounded, and it will just end the thing.
it's so weird how that works. That works in Skate 3 for a lot of things too.
Yeah, because you're not bailing when you're in the air. You just, going back to the ground. You're not in a sequence.
Yeah.
You're kind of just done.
It just like ends the combo.
Yeah.
No, Heki's gonna go do another jam with Danny Way. It's gonna look similar to the one that I just did, but you're really gonna be able to tell that the Mega Park's been rebuilt here. And this is almost more like a combo of a death race and a contest, because there is gonna be 3 rounds, but you can actually end the timer by just getting to the finish line as fast as possible. Just have to make sure that Heki has more points than Danny Way, or at least 2 of the 3 rounds when crossing that finish line. The big intended way is just to fly over all of these ramps here and then just make it into the finish line.
Did I win that? I did. No, I didn't. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So now I have to get 2 in a row, otherwise we do
17,000.
this again. Interesting.
Yeah, this challenge can be really difficult. Danny Way is on a whole nother level now than he was 5 years ago in Sandman Alona. Sometimes he'll get a few thousand points, but sometimes he'll even get close to the 20,000 point marker. So as long as you've got a little bit more when you cross that finish line, it counts and you're good. I believe you got that one. Yep.
Yeah, that's 1-1.
Just one
So
more.
gotta win this one.
Expired 5 DJ will give me luck.
Yeah, definitely.
But you can get to the bottom faster by reverting and power sliding off the side there. There is a fast strat. I don't know if Heki's gonna go for it to finish it off here.
No, I'm too scared.
No, that's okay.
I just want to secure the win on that one.
No, that's all good.
It's such a
That was
tight
really
gap
nice.
to squeeze through at the end of that as well. Like,
Right.
in an awkward angle to get there. It's just a difficult trigger to hit.
And it's really nerve-wracking when you lose the first challenge because it's like, hey, I could reset the challenge now and lose like 40 seconds, or I could try to secure the next 2 wins, but I could lose it to RNG and then lose like 3 minutes. It's
Yeah, that's what I was thinking just then.
it's quite a challenge. It's very nerve-wracking. You did awesome, Hecky. Keep it up. So back to Expired's favorite skater from back in the day. I'm gonna go hang out with Chris Haslam now. This is where the game's going to introduce hippie jumps as well as introduce the finger flips if you somehow didn't do that challenge earlier. And the late flips were in the previous game, but Eki just has to hippie jump over the barrier there and then finger flip over the stairs. But it's really hard to pull off the finger flips in this game sometimes. I know Expired was explaining it earlier, but sometimes it's like even if you're flicking it, the game just doesn't want you to. I don't know if it thinks you're too close to the ground or like what the deal is, but that was an easy challenge to get hung up on, especially when Chris Haslam falls at the end there, because you can also trip on him. That was really nice.
I'm impressed you know the names of these guys. I just call him the bum.
He was one of my
Spice
favorite
Empire.
skaters from back in the day. I was so stoked when he was in this video game. Like
This
in
is my least
2009.
favorite core.
Oh yeah, this is...
Behind like Skate Whatevs, this is the one I hate the most because I always just clip my trucks on the way up the stairs.
It's
These
just this
stairs
little...
are quite close, right? They're like just about as much as you can pop a flip trick up.
Yeah. You just have to do 4 different flip tricks up the stairs, but, you know, you see there's that pedestrian just kind of wandering around back and forth. I don't know if they're dancing or what's going on, but...
My dude, get off your phone.
Right. See, even on a
he
side
did
kick
get
right
off his
now?
phone, but
The pedestrians are really good at dodging into you as well. Like they
Yeah.
kind of like shuffle backwards to where you're going. It's like I wasn't gonna hit you, but now I did.
Right.
it's
I don't know.
you're approaching somebody in a hallway and you both dodge in the same direction.
Yes.
You know,
Just like that. Except sometimes it
Maybe-
almost feels intentional.
True.
Like they want to knock you over. So this one, you might notice on the bottom how it says do 3 grinds over the rail, but also on the left it says already been done backside 5-0. For the longest time, I think we all thought you had to do 3 different grinds here, but you don't. I think it's just maybe you have to do 3 different grinds to like kill the challenge instead of owning it. I'm really not sure, but
I just
yeah, you
golded
just do
that
the same
by
grind.
7. Just golded that by 7 seconds because of fast missions.
That tri push was so clean. It's
It was
really
really nice.
quite tough to get the tri pushes in there and still manage to pop in time for the rail. I know I saw you in practice a few times struggling with that, so to get all 3 perfectly is crazy good.
Yeah, there is some things with the try pushing too, where if I think it's like if you flick the stick to cancel the last animation and you do it too late and you try to trick right away, it'll drop your input completely. I've had that happen to me a ton of times right after try pushing. This is a really big YOLO challenge. So Hecky has to bomb this hill and hope this car on the right has a red light, which luckily they do, and there's no pedestrians in front of Hecky. Hecky just has to maintain speed and do a 540 over this huge gap, and then land it clean because we have to hit this big vert quarter pipe in front of us and make it halfway up the vert stick, which Hecky did perfectly. Now that
Fun
that
fact,
challenge
I've
is done,
actually, my entire time running this game, I have not been hit by one of those cars yet.
You're a very lucky man.
Very
just
smart of you to
always
wait
stop.
on sharing that with us until after you nailed that one.
yes.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure it wasn't
If you
a bad omen.
if you get hit by a car, I think it's about an 18-second time loss, and if you fall on the gap, I think it's 25 seconds. So it's not a challenge that you want to have to repeat at all.
Oh,
That was great.
No.
Yeah. Sick, right?
This is getting into kind of like the best trick contest section. I guess you can kind of think of it like that. These are all best trick sections. There's gonna be 90 seconds on the clock. Becky just has to get more points one time, and he'll win. But we do have to just wait for time to expire. So there's any new donations that came in, maybe someone donated $5 with like their favorite trick or something. If there's anything, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, no, we definitely would. We have that open farm name bid war incentive. If you want to name a farm after your favorite skater, your favorite trick, your favorite runner in this event, you'd be absolutely able to do so. Currently, the high water mark is Mocha 11 at $10. So if you are able to give even any part of that, it's like $2, $5, $50, $10. Any donation in any amount makes a big difference because we're here raising money for Blackheart Wings to help her get to a better place in her life and let her live the life that she wants to live. So, this is not one of those like, oh, my donation doesn't matter sort of thing because somebody else is, getting us to this incentive. This is a mutual aid. We're all here. I mean, we're having a fun time. We're skating around and becoming legends, but this is something where if you are able to, anything you're able to give makes a huge difference for somebody who is a good friend and integral to a lot of speedrunning communities. So if you are able to, we would appreciate that very much. Feel free to put it towards that farm naming incentive if you like, or if you want to mark it in your comment, you can also give to the open Pump It Up 20th Anniversary Edition bonus co-op showcase. We're looking for $500 for that one.
Mike Burnett, Thrasher, you understand that, right?
Alright, so now we're on to loser gets hi-fi. I don't know what this means. Hi-fi, okay.
Is it a word? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah,
I remember hearing it back then.
Yeah, that was slang verbiage of a very specific era. Not
Yeah,
everything, not everything ages
like
the same way.
specific skate parks in specific regions or something, maybe.
Yeah,
I definitely
never
remember
heard
it.
that.
But
I feel like that's one of those you need to hit up like Urban Dictionary for.
yeah, probably. Like, what skate video did it start in? Or like, there's got to be lore to that word, I'm sure. But this challenge right here is actually with Mike Carroll from the last game, who we had to sequence those 3 different boxes to get our first sponsor. And, he remembers us, even though we've been gone for 5 years. So just welcomed us with open arms into his photo shoot today, because all of the photographers are obviously booked. We were booked in prison. Couldn't, make any plans or anything. But if we did get...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. As long as you get enough points, you're gonna crash their photo shoot and you're gonna get the photo in the mag instead of them. But this challenge does have a little fast strat. If you wait to the very end to do your last combo and you get your best trick, then it'll just show the pictures from when that happens. Perfect. Oh,
I think you set a really high score there, Heki, on your like safety one. Made it very difficult to beat.
It didn't get the photo skip, but you noticed how after Heki landed the trick, it kept taking pictures of him back at the session marker. There is a way to skip that. You just have to do your trick at the very end, but waiting a minute and a half to then have one attempt to do your trick and maybe lose a minute and a half of time can be pretty sketchy feeling to do.
Yeah, you got to put a safe time in.
Yep.
Safe score in.
Okay, if we got a minute here, I've got an Urban Dictionary definition from 2005 that is surprisingly comprehensive.
Ooh, I want to hear it. I'm all for it.
Hyphy, pronunciation hi-fi, function, adjective. Etymology, San Francisco Bay Area, perhaps shortened from English hyperactive. Other sources cite a combination of hype and fly. Popularized by E40 and the Federation's song Hyphy, circa 2004. First known use on record, Keek the Sneak in 1998 on song Cool from his LP Sneakacidal.
Let's go. Now we got the full
Definitions: dangerous and irrational, or crazy. Number 2, amusingly eccentric, without inhibition, goofy. So, thank you for that, J-Rill. You didn't know that when you put that in on May 17th, 2005, you would still be remembered 18 years later.
Immortalized in Skate 2. Maybe that's why me and Heki don't know it then, if it's like West Coast US slang.
Right, from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably didn't make it to the UK.
Free free everyone being connected through social medias and the internet.
I mean, we had our T-Mobile sidekicks. We could do
Oh
some
yeah,
side talking. We could text at each other. You
yeah.
text your top 10 for free.
But we didn't, have unlimited access to like thousands of videos and on TikTok and
Indeed
YouTube and
not.
everything else. That's why too, with these games, you see Heki having to like actually go out and film the stuff and then bring it to a skate shop for them to promote it, or get these photos for a magazine instead of just getting the photos for Instagram.
I wonder if the new skate game will have that within it, like
Right.
the Instagram photos rather than magazine.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. You might still have somebody else recording you, but I bet they'd even put in like a selfie mode or something.
Oh, that
Oh,
would
You
be
could
stream.
skate
cool. I
around with
hope
your
so.
phone pointed at yourself, or do a GoPro cam, give you like a faux first person mode.
Oh,
That'd be
sick.
really cool. Yeah, first person skating would be so sick.
So
That
what
would be
Heki's
a
doing
very
here is
difficult run.
he's making sure that he's going outside the challenge bounds right at the end of the challenge. Normally if you go outside the challenge bounds, it sends you back to the area where you start the challenge. If you do it at the very end, it starts to try and do that, but then doesn't, and it also continues the annoying animation. But by being outside the challenge bounds where he is, he's actually in the loading zone for the next challenge, so he'll instantly load there. And unfortunately he actually bailed while he couldn't see, and we get the
Oh my
whole meat
God.
that we talked about and a nice cutscene. Wait, that instantly ended it as well.
I instantly ended it because I pressed B, which closes that video
Beautiful.
faster than anything else.
Hey, I'm trying to shoot something with Chris right
This
now.
thing is
but,
like
feel free to jump
probably
in.
not, but I like to call it borderline RNG, where I'm pretty much doing the same thing every time, and sometimes it works. I'm making sure I crouch in the same spot and then I pop. I'm just trying to get over this gap.
Man, wait till
Nice.
this hits the pages of Thrasher.
It's a tough challenge, that one. Probably one
This
of
is
the
my-
harder ones in Skate 2.
This is my terrible attempt at Banana Girl, by the way. Couldn't find any yellow pants.
Nice.
Dude, you're shooting with Burnett. You know how psyched you should be? It's always a
We
lot
tried
more
to
fun
coordinate
skating with somebody.
outfits,
Once you give somebody a call, see if they
but the
wanna-
customization options in Skate 2 are a little less extravagant compared to Skate
Yeah.
3.
For the whole game, we've just been crashing people's photo shoots, but now we've actually taken to a second form of harassment, and we're just gonna call them up and have them do stuff with us instead. Hopefully he goes through the pipe. This is my favorite one, because he never bails this way, and he always bails the other way for me.
I think the other way is slightly quicker though, especially if he doesn't bail. You get
Yeah, I think if
fully
he doesn't
lucky.
bail, like if you get the perfect way on both sides, I think it can be up to 15 seconds faster the other way, but it's so rare that that happens. Sometimes when Chris Cole goes
Oh.
this way, kind of
49.2,
that
scary.
was so close.
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
I'm sorry,
You
you were
ready?
saying sometimes when he goes this way.
No, it's all good. It's like perfect timing because he might do it right now. So this fence that's on the right side of the screen, sometimes Chris Cole will just kind of turn to the right and keep pushing into it for a couple seconds and
Oh,
like
no.
almost come to a stop. It's pretty rare that it happens, but I've seen it a handful of times, so I'm always very cautious about it because you don't want to start booking it and then all of a sudden he's, almost skating backwards. That was awesome.
These guys are asking you to skate a demo with them.
Hey, the next
Maybe
time
we'll
we're
do
like in
it.
between challenges and you have a minute, I have a request in the form of a donation.
Skate with them.
Ooh,
Now it's
right
right
on,
up
actually,
Lucky
perfect
for
time.
you, we have 2.5 minutes of nothing. So go ahead.
Got it. Well, G Money sends in $20 and just says, "Do a kickflip."
Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Here, let me
I
try.
think we can make that happen, Hecky.
Oh no.
Wrong
Oh,
way.
not the heel flip.
Wait,
Yeah, here you go.
that's
Yeah.
the one. Hey,
That was fake. You get some bonus points.
Tony Hawk would be proud.
He'll give you heel flip to go with it.
I almost used the do a kickflip enjoy board for the first run.
Nice.
So
This
you'll
you
notice on
kinda
the
just... Oh, go
Oh,
ahead. No,
Um,
you go.
so for this you notice on the right it says stoke the crowd and Heki has to get 7,500 points. In this game, if you stoke the crowd too much, you'll kill the crowd, like don't worry, they don't actually die. It's just like you kill the challenge, whatever that means. But if that happens, you get this little extra screen at the end. So in order to avoid that, you just would like to get under 10,000 points here.
Yeah, it's like Supa referred to earlier, the difference between owning a challenge and killing it. There are basically bonus goals where if you go above and beyond, it's like it's not required for completion, but it's just extra stuff you can do to get more longevity out of the game, but it's slower in the speed run. Not surprising.
Yeah. Slower in this
I
one
just,
and then faster in the next one.
Yeah, we kill a lot of challenges in Skate 3. In fact, not killing them is big time loss.
Yeah, big time loss.
I just
We'll
like to
explain
get my
that too.
points and then just sit here and look at what I assume is a reference to Dodal Door, which is like a famous beach archway in Dorset, England.
Yeah, it definitely is, isn't it?
It might be. I'm not sure.
You've probably
Beautiful
seen
little-
that if you use Windows 10 and you're based in the UK. Like one
Oh,
of
is it
the
like one of
default
the-
lock screen things, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's from Skate 2.
Can't believe they made it a real thing.
Right? Life imitating art and all that.
And you still got time to go do a product toss if you want. You don't have to, but
You guys want skateboards?
I think they want skateboards.
Good effort.
Anyone
I
ever
wasn't
been
sure
to
how
a
far you
product
could
toss
throw it.
before? Or anyone watching, anyone in chat, if you've ever been to a product toss before, or you ever won something or caught something in a product toss, can you let us know? I want to know. You ever caught a board before? Hopefully you were paying attention. It's not good to be at a skate demo and look up and see a board flying at you, but it does happen, or at least it was very common in the mid 2000s for product tosses to be like that.
Hey, you can change your sponsor if
You might
want.
have just seen me like standing in a void in a load screen. It's because I got a fast pause before the mandatory prompt. So I just got that during the load screen and it kind of showed what you see behind the hood.
This right here is one of the most difficult challenges I would say for like a casual player or even in the speedrun for this game, but across kind of the whole series. So you have to perfectly line that quarter pipe up. Heki has a very good strat for, and then you have to do the tweet hand plant on the top of the basketball hoop there, and still land it. It is a lot more difficult than Heki made it look there. Getting that first try in a run is so sick.
Let's go.
And now, gentlemen, we
Coming up
march
for
into
YOLO.
hell.
This
Straight
is the
into
new
hell's
strategy
doors.
that Heki's found, where
All right,
we're
go on
supposed to
then.
move some. We're supposed to move some ramps and rails, but as we said before, it's slow to do that. So we called it YOLO because it's pretty tricky, and you only really get one go at it, because the security guards swarm you if you don't get it first try. So send all your hopes and prayers.
So the game wants you to grab two different ramps and grab that red rail there and set them up in a sequence together.
What?
But
Oh, I think you did that there.
I think
Yeah,
you
I think
did
I just
too.
got robbed.
Yeah, definitely,
The-
Rob.
The game only checks that you're tricking off of one of the ramps, grinding the rail, and then tricking onto the other. So you can YOLO it and get it here in the beginning, but security guards can kind of start flocking, and sometimes they'll all get stuck in the corner where the other ramp is, and then you just have to, go for the backup. So Eki can grind this and then turn around and hit this other ramp instead.
I think I landed by accident.
I think now you see where the pain is in this being the YOLO
Yeah.
strat. If you hit it first try, it's so quick compared to anything else. But
Oh yeah,
it
it's
just
a 30-second
it can
time
quickly
save.
devolve to
Also-
yeah.
Also, the props are physics-based, so when the NPCs bump into them, and they
They'll
move
move
it out
them
of
around.
line, it's very hard to grind on it now because it's so close to the other ledge. You just kind of get, you either magnet to the wrong ledge, or you just go over the thing.
It can be really hard to, especially when turning in the manual, like touching your tail. You got this, Heki.
I want to go for the easy one, but they keep blocking that too. Move, lady.
These two are a little too into their job. That one, like the last attempt, one of them tried to drop kick you.
They definitely are holding a grudge from the first game.
A little bit.
What?
That should have counted.
We're actually really lucky that there's only two. This is the lowest I've had here when doing YOLO.
Yeah.
Usually there's at
sometimes
least like 5 of them just bouncing into each other and running around. But now I can't get on this rail anymore, and I can't go back to my marker once they're angry at me. It's pretty much just instant time loss because you have to restart and then get knocked over. And then you can go back to your marker and try it again, and it's just... Come on, man.
Robert.
Now I have one guy camping each ramp. And this guy on the ramp. Actually, this ramp is free. I'll go over here again. Or not. This is really like the worst part of the run. It was already bad before, and now it's just even worse. Especially because of guys like this who just stand on the rail. I'm actually gonna go ahead and just deload everyone and do it the really old slow way. So we can get past it.
At least you can show off how it's supposed to be done too. Because even this way is pretty difficult. Like I said, you have to move the 2 ramps and you have to move the rail. When you're grabbing the ramp too, just in case anyone ever wants to start running this game that's watching right now, you can make it a little easier so the NPCs can't like move your ramp or knock it over. I believe while you're pushing a ramp with you press right on the D-pad and it'll add it to your session marker. So that way, anytime you teleport back to your session marker, the ramps will go exactly where you place them.
Oh man, you could do so many things here. Let's see it.
Yeah, now we have 4 security guards. Not great, but... Oh no, we have 6. Nice.
You can see them all on the map in the top right. You can see what direction they're looking to.
Yeah, so this is pretty much what you have to do. Put into context how bad this thing is and how fast you need to do it in a run. We actually came into this mission only plus 14 seconds on the record. And now we're plus 4 minutes. So, there you go.
Yeah, it really is a YOLO. One of those things where like...
Come on, dude.
You're, you know, on PB pace, you have to do it.
Move, dude.
There we go. Nice.
That's the old slow way. Absolutely horrible goal. Made
I was
even
nervous
worse.
he was gonna swing at you. There's 3 challenges left though, and they're all gonna go super fast. The next one's called train hopping.
I have to wait for him to hit me before I can leave.
Yeah.
Which again sucks.
If you're in a chase sequence, the game will let you open your map, which is a little bit different from Skate 1. Like in Skate 1, you can only halfway open the map, and everything will be kind of like X'd out. But here it'll let you open up your map, go in to even like select a challenge, but then it'll say, you know, teleporting not available when being chased. So it's gonna be a little extra time loss that stacks up, especially if you don't notice that you're getting chased and you try to menu right away. But this one's super simple. It's just going to be 2 different like trolley train tracks, and you just have to ollie over both of them. It can be really hard. I say things are super simple sometimes, but everything can feel super simple sometimes when you've done it thousands of times.
Definitely.
Like I showed in the last run too, like some of the things that look really easy, you can fail super easy too. That was awesome. Once the loading is done on the bottom, and go to 3rd sets of charm, and there's gonna be 3 big sets of stairs, and all you have to do is get over them. But this challenge also has one of those hidden kill criterias. We don't know exactly what it is, but on the last stair set, if Heki lands more on like the right side of the flat part in front of the steps, he won't kill it. But if he lands too far to the left, it'll do a killed screen and it'll kind of slow down at the end. Sometimes
I
think
do wonder
you-
if the kill criteria is actually airing over a pedestrian.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was wondering that too, especially since right as I saw you fly over.
Yeah.
Because I know Calplex told me originally that if you land on the bank on the right, and you're like close enough to the bottom of the bank, it will like cancel out the kill criteria. But that also makes sense because you're never gonna have a pedestrian like walking sideways on that bank. You know,
Yeah.
so if you're all the way to the right, you're not gonna go over anyone.
This is the
finally-
last mission of the run.
Returning to the scene of the crime, the place that sent us into prison 5 years ago. That's gonna go pretty quick. All Hecky has to do is a 540 here, and once it says photo challenge complete, that'll be time, and then we'll get ready for Expired to do skate 3.
And that's time. We are
GG's.
Thrasher
Awesome, dude.
famous.
Thrasher famous.
That run was really good until like skateboard hours.
Yeah, you were cruising.
Dude, you are back on the cover of Thrasher.
Unfortunate.
Best comeback ever.
Alright, on to skate 3.
Yeah, while we travel over to Port Carverton for the third run of this trilogy, I just want to thank everyone for being here and remind you that Blackheart's Boston Fun was put together as an impromptu event and it wouldn't have been possible without the help of all the volunteers, runners, and most importantly, you, our viewers and donors. We appreciate any and all support that you can reasonably give Gabby in her time of need so that we can help someone move to Boston and live safely without worrying about a major financial loss. Feel free to type !schedule in chat to see what you can look forward to over the rest of this day. And in addition to an amazing cause, you can type !incentives in chat to see more information about the open incentives. And I can tell you about those right now. We do have a farm name bid war for Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town. Currently, those options are Mocha 11 at $10 and The Land of Oz at $1. But if you want something skate related or something that sparks joy in you, feel free to get a donation in on the Ko-fi page, and in that donation comment, let us know what you'd like that farm to be called. Or you can send it over to the Pump It Up 20th Anniversary Edition Co-op Showcase, where Zello will play a special selection of bonus co-op songs with Haru.
Cool. I think I'm good to go, so I'm going to kick things off. You just make sure I've got everything set up rightly, and we'll get started. So the run starts when we first gain control, which is now. And yeah, it kind of starts off the same as the other games with a follow mission. And I'm just trying to skate around, avoid pedestrians and getting too far away. We got 100 meters to play with, so it's a little bit more friendly than some of the other follow missions that we've seen.
You'll notice too, the run did start off with something you haven't seen in either of the other runs yet. Expired did a little forwards man speed glitch there, which they're very hard to pull off, but we'll see him do that a bunch more in the run. He's gonna go for another one right here. He just wanted to wait for Retta and Shingo to get close enough. And now
Yeah, the goal
Expired
here
just-
is to get into the end right at 100 meters away. We're a little bit off, but that's okay. Get there with a reasonable amount of time.
See what I say? That was
That was
fun,
still really
right?
fast. That was awesome.
So most
yeah.
of these first few challenges are just tutorial challenges. They're kind of trying to teach us about little things. There's certain ways that we can speed things up. So for example, if there's a trick off the ledge, but we can kind of just like do a trick and immediately kick the board away, which is really nice. Saves so much more time than trying to land something.
Right, you
Yo,
don't have
which
to
one of
float
these
through
do you
the
wanna
air
run?
for that extra couple seconds.
And you might hear me spamming A because this game has a lot of menus that hide behind A or cutscenes or whatever, and it's easier than trying to remember where to press it. Just easier to spam, which makes me go through a lot of controllers A buttons.
Yo, owned it. Look how ill
So yeah, that's the probably we're getting towards the end of the tutorial challenges. We've got one more follow mission and then a couple of like photo challenges, and we're done with the kind of tutorial. One cool thing that we can do here is the NPCs in Skate 3 are scared of aeroplanes. So if I do an airplane emote, this guy doesn't kind of want to. There we go. They run away, which is really useful for some of these challenges like follow missions, because it means we can get the NPCs out of the way for the guy we're following. In this case, is it Slappy we're supposed to be following, or Redder? It stops him from getting caught up on the pedestrians. So yeah, this is just, now it's not 100 meters, it's 50 meters, and we need to be a little bit more careful about how far away we skate. It's incredibly easy to skate too far away from our follow target in this one. I think it is Reddit. I'm going to turn around to check. Yeah, it is.
I've just noticed that pretty much every game starts with following someone.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, I guess it's a effective tutorial, but for our purposes, it's really annoying.
We did have some theories about like ways that you can skip it. There is actually a kind of glitch that lets you warp like a really long distance instantly. But it turns out that it checks the distance away from the NPC before it checks whether you've actually met the criteria, like met the end criteria. So you can't just warp there instantly. It just fails rather than passing, even if you warp straight into the end zone, which is quite sad. Yeah. So now we're going to go into a DIY park, or a player-made park tutorial. This is one of the things that was added in the game, and it's actually one of the most fun parts of the game, in that you could make your own indoor park, like set up the ramps, share them with other people online as well, and it was super fun back in the day to build a park, just skate around in it. There's a really nice feature of Skate 3.
They did a lot in the 1 year that it took them to make this after Skate 2. Like, it's almost a completely different game.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy how fast the development happened between the three.
A lot of the big studios that iterate like this, or did on a yearly basis, would either have multiple support studios working on stuff, or they'd be like, hey, we iterated on this system, and we don't have time to QA it to fit into this game, but maybe for the next one. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were working on a lot of this stuff during Skate 2, and the ideas just didn't make it in a polished fashion.
Yeah, dude, that was sick.
Yeah,
but there is so much more you can do with
Definitely could be. So yeah, now that we finished the indoor tutorial, we have basically our first two challenges, and we're going to start earning what are called board sales. So in this game, as opposed to the other ones, we're not trying to become a like skate pro. We're trying to become like a skate company and start our own board company, and it gives us a lot more freedom because the challenges are kind of more like sandbox. But it also, that makes the route a lot harder because there's not just one way we have to go. So for this challenge, we have to do a nollie flip into the bank. And it wants us to go on that bench and kind of really slowly air in there. But instead, we can kind of just go near the hitbox of the ramp and kick the board away. It saves a decent amount of time.
It's really nice.
No, I know we're calling my character Banana Girl, but is anybody else thinking of the man in the yellow hat from Curious George? Especially looking at the character from behind, I just can't stop thinking about it.
I am now.
You're welcome.
You start off in such a pristine set of clothes as well, and then as the game goes on, every time you fall over, it just like makes them more and more dirty.
True.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of the best parts about it. But yeah, so we're trying to get board sales, and this next challenge we're actually gonna teleport to instead of sign up from the menu. We're able to sign up from the menu now, but if we teleport to some of the challenges, we actually skip an intro cutscene. And this one is one of the ones where we're talking about. We're supposed to do a nose manual on the sign, is the kill criteria. But if we nose manual into the sign, it's very happy for us to continue on.
Obviously, nose manualing into the side of the sign is Much easier.
Yeah, it's so much
on the
easier.
box without like locking into a grind or anything.
So here we've unlocked our first skater in the team that we're building, and we're going to do a billboard photo. What we're going to do is we're going to do this billboard photo to a very specific area of grass. In this game, for some reason, grass is pretty safe, and it really likes placing us back on grass. So after the billboard photos, it normally tries to warp you and place you where the billboard is so you can see that billboard. But in this case, it kind of warps us there, but then warps us back to the grass because it really liked the grass. So you can kind of like stay near this own the spot that we want to go and do for some more board sales. So the own the spots are kind of just areas where we have to get a certain number of points, and there's a specific set of tricks we want to do to get the kill amount of points every time. There's some faster ways to do it, but I'm going to do some hopefully fairly safe strategies for them. And if we skate down this hill, we get to the exact next challenge just as our save spinner ends in the bottom right. We actually can't start any challenges or pause the game while that spinner's saving. And they managed to like stop the fast pauses from Skate 2. So yeah, every single challenge in a game that we're going to do has like hidden kill criteria. You can achieve the kill criteria while you do them, but they don't show, and you can't see if you've completed them or not until you actually like finish the challenge. So we kind of just have to memorize every single kill criteria as we go and make sure that we, you know, do the kill criteria. That's probably one of the harder parts of running Skate 3 is just being confident in exactly what you need to do. So yeah, basically most of it is just rooting around trying to stay nearby to where we were. You should see a lot of the buildings look the same because we're going to try and stay really close to all of the challenges and do them in an order where we're kind of minimizing load time, because load time's a big factor in the run. If we just kind of like randomly moved around the run, then we would load. And I'm going to do my aeroplane to scare off the pedestrians so they don't get in Rob Dyrdek's way, because he's pretty good at bailing on them. This one I'm a little worried about.
Speaking of other things that stuff reminds you of, watching you do the airplane, now I'm thinking of Freakazoid. I just kind of want to make the noise as you're running around.
Sometimes I do that anyway, it's quite satisfying.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Rob's managed not to bail. We're slightly behind him, or like level with him now, but he grinds this ledge, so we've got a bit of time. I can do a speed glitch to go a little bit faster here, but I think I'm just going to stick with it kind of where it is and not risk it too much. Yeah, we now make it down here, and we've kind of come to our first pro challenge where it matters whether we kill or own it. In the route, we actually have leeway to not kill one challenge and still get the 1 million board sales, which is the kind of completion criteria for the run. And this challenge we have to nose blunt on 2 different ledges, and it's actually really hard to lock the second nose blunt. So we don't have to kill this, but if we do kill it, it means that we can not kill a later challenge. So that's the first nose blunt, which I find fairly comfortable. This one's a little more tricky, and we missed it. But that's okay. So we're still, we don't have the like safety net of, oh, if we accidentally own something that we need to kill, we can kind of save it. But it's really not a problem. We can still just go through the run as is. It's kind of, I'm so glad that we don't have to kill that every time, because we used to reset a lot of runs when it was like, oh, I didn't kill that, and guess I'm starting again. But now, now we can kind of avoid it and just, you know, still make the board sales. So this is the tutorial for Hall of Meat, which we talked about earlier, which is so much more advanced in this game than in Skate 1, where you kind of just fly in the air and hope that you break enough bones.
Yeah, like in 2, you could trigger it at any time, like we saw a little bit there, but now it's its own mode, its own challenges. There's like, you could basically have entire online sessions with people, and I regularly did back in the day, where you were just trying to get the biggest bails.
Yeah, it's cool that it's like a skateboarding game with a game mode that just isn't skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
So after this challenge, I'm going to try and land on this path here, and I'm basically going to do a series of things that hopefully mean I end up spawning down next to the own the spot. So I'm going to get off my board, and I'm going to jump up onto this rail, and then I'm going to do an ad photo because we need to, and it should spawn me down, which it did, and then I'm going to try and stop on the grass, because as we said, grass is quite a safe place to be. And this should hopefully, it's fairly like random, but it should hopefully spawn me down here after this challenge. Sometimes it spawns you back up at the top of where the Hall of Meat was. And if it spawns me down here, which it looks like it did, yeah, I can just instantly go into this owner spot, so that saves us a bit of time. And this owner spot's only 1,000 points, so we can do it in one trick. If the trick is perfect. Ooh, and it's not like that. We have to do a dark catch, which is a new feature of the game, and then land it clean. There we go.
And two, if you don't know what a dark catch is, the term comes from a dark slide, which is where you do half of like a kickflip or a heel flip motion and you catch your board upside down and then do like a board slide on the grip tape. So since I introduced dark slides in this, you know, you're able to catch that board upside down, but it's the easiest way to get big tricks is just to get consistent at doing those dark flip catches.
Yeah, exactly. It's so many points, especially when you do it fakey.
Yeah.
So here we go. We're going to do a little bit of a speed glitch. For this challenge, we need to do the regular criteria, but we also need to get 50,000 points. And then we can immediately end the bail by pressing A, and that just lets us finish. So basically, as fast as we can get to 50,000 points, the faster we can finish the challenge and save a bit of time.
Made it look really easy to do, but it's also really easy to just get stuck at like the very bottom of the stairs if you don't have enough momentum going forward. So
yeah,
many
carrying
times
on
I've only
rolling
got
is hard.
like 44,000 or something, and then you stop moving. It's like, dang it, gotta retry
Yeah,
now.
the momentum on the bounces is not the easiest thing to get used to.
It sometimes just dies and you're like, okay, we'll see that later in one of the harder Hall of Meat challenges. So yeah, for this one we just need to do a torpedo into the area, and if we air press to end the bail, it speeds up that animation for the kill time so much. So the faster we end it, the better. That's true for most of the Hall of Meats. We want to kind of end as soon as possible. Some of them, if we A press to end the bail, it will actually put us back to a place in a different loading zone and give us an extra load screen. So it's not a hard and fast rule. Okay, we're going to go and do another Hall of Meat. This time it's Tumbleweed, which is right near the bottom of the menu. So for this one, we need to air down, and we need to kind of like land on these two ledges on the way down. And the hidden criteria that's not on the screen is 80,000 points in order to kill it. So ideally, we can do this without breaking a bone, which we managed to do. We broke a bone there, but that's okay. And then we just need to make sure that we get far enough down here. Oh, that really landed badly. I don't think I can save that. That's okay though. This is what we mean about sometimes you can just lose a bit of momentum. I'm probably going to break a bone here, yeah. And the slowdown from the breaking a bone can really make it quite tough to continue the bail. So I'm going to reset again in this challenge. Try and get some momentum.
If you've ever played the classic browser frustration game QWOP, trying to control yourself during the bail here and like push yourself off of a limb to try to get a little more momentum is not entirely unlike playing QWOP.
Yeah. I'm struggling a little bit, but we'll get it in a sec. There we go.
You got this.
We got the push off. That's what we needed, and then we can just air down into this ramp. We were so close to getting it the first time, to be honest, but it is what it is. We got our 80k points. We've got to the archway, so we can walk back.
Quap is also,
sorry, go on, Heki.
I was just going to say, Quap is also a very good comparison for the off-board controls in Skate 2.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do a Danny Way jam. This one is very, very similar to the jam in Skate 2. It's basically the same thing. Get a load of points, get to the end fast. There's various ways to do it. I'm going to do a fairly safe way. The fastest way is just to go straight directly there with a speed glitch. But we're just going to get off board, carefully line ourselves up near the edge, roll down here, and we should be able to just very safely make it into this ramp and straight to the end. And it doesn't really matter how many points he gets because the points are just totaled up as soon as we finish, same as in Skate 2. So as long as we finish fairly quickly, then he just doesn't really get remade points. So now we're going to go and do Going Gone. I actually found a fast strat, or not a fast strat, a slow strat for this, a safer strat last night when I was playing around with it, because what the game wants us to do is kind of air down this ramp, this extension, and then jump off these like dodgily placed ramps that you can see in front of us, And they are really good at making us bail. Oh, I managed to bail anyway. But what we can do instead is kind of go a bit slower than the game wants us to into them. Well, if I can get a power slide. And then we can just pop off our board, and it still counts us as having like done the criteria. If we kind of like have hit these ramps, we can get off our board, run over here, and then just bail down into the area. And that, as far as the game's concerned, is as good as airing off the ramps, and is supposedly a little bit safer if you don't bail a couple of times trying to get to them.
It's so easy to fly over that emblem if you just go at full speed.
Yeah. And the problem is that if you fly over it, then you still own the challenge, which loses so much more time than just failing to do the challenge.
Right, because then you still get all of the little menus at the end, and then you still have to menu back and redo the challenge.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Just not fun.
So I've placed a session marker here. This is one of the few challenges that that lets you set a session marker and doesn't clear it at the end. And I've set a session marker directly under the next own the spot, which means that when we finish this challenge, we can walk back to the session marker we've set, and that will instantly unlock the own the spot and let us go straight there.
Ah, this is so fresh.
So it's very, very convenient that this, of all challenges, just happens to let us walk back to a session marker we placed halfway through. And this own the spot's kind of an interesting one. You're supposed to kind of like skate up and do some tricks on the little bank, on the little half pipe there, quarter pipe. But instead we can kind of like pop in and nose manual and then just do a big pop into the challenge zone. And that also gives us enough points. Now we're coming up to the first death race of the run. Maybe someone can explain how it works while I'm doing it.
Yeah, so the death races here are going to be quite a bit different than the ones that you saw in Skate 1. It is going to have all of these gates, and it wants you to go straight through the gates with all the other skaters, but Expired is actually going to go to the left here, and is going to try to make it to a very specific point, so we can actually just wrong warp to the end. And if Expired bails right here, it's going to bring him about 4 seconds away from the finish line. Now, the only thing is, if Expired would have fell before making it to the point where he intentionally fell, it would have brought him back towards the start because he didn't go through any of the checkpoints yet. But no, that was an awesome race. You had a really fast, your second speed, which was really fast there.
Yeah, it was quite good, wasn't it?
It was really good.
I accidentally signed up instead of teleporting, but that's okay. So we get an extra cutscene.
This is another one where if you teleport to it, you don't get that little cutscene in the beginning. It just lets you start it right away.
Yeah, so I just have to do a slide on this rail, and I'm going to go nice and slow just to make sure. It's quite easy to air over the rail completely, or just kind of just touch the very end. And if you don't touch it for very long, then it will say that you grinded it, but not that you slided it, which means it will own it instead of killing it. Which is, yeah, not what we want, because we need the board sales, especially without having killed Kalis.
This next challenge is really cool. I really like this one casually. It is pretty difficult though.
It's a fun little bowl.
Yeah, it is. Bowls are like, they're always my favorite thing to skate. But there's this little box over here in the corner. Expired just has to do a 360 over it, and then either has to grind above the stairs here. And then is it 1 foot hand plant?
1 foot hand plant, yeah.
1 foot hand plant for the hidden kill criteria.
This challenge is really good. If you hand plant in the wrong place, it's really good for making you bail just out of nowhere, which can be quite unfortunate.
Yeah. This next challenge is really cool too.
Yeah,
it's
we just got to air out of the bowl and do a foot plant, and then get a 360 back into the bowl. So it's just about getting good pumps and good air. And I think we got it. Beautiful.
Sick, man.
You can get away with a 180 on that challenge too, but sometimes it doesn't count it.
Yeah, it's if you still did the 360 up in the combo.
Oh, that's probably what it is. I think I do like a 180 turn into the foot plant on top.
Yeah, it'll count that the whole way. So this next challenge, we just have to air over this gap. How hard can that be? But it's actually surprisingly difficult because there's so much stuff that likes to make us bail. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try and lose a bit of speed on the way down here. I don't want to lose too much speed because I still want to make it over the gap. If I lose a little bit of speed, I should be able to do it. Yeah, beautiful. And I'm actually going to line myself up perfectly. Yeah. Perfectly to go down this hill to the next turn the spot. It's quite difficult sometimes to make sure you get that and line up nicely.
As I say, depending on how Expired lands, you'll see he's going to go get to own the spot here because he only has to push a couple times and he can grab it before that autosave in the bottom right corner is done anyways. But let's say he wasn't lined up perfectly for it, then he would have just went to the next death race, which is Deadly Ditch, and then saved this own the spot for towards the end of the run when we do ditch hits down here.
Yeah, it makes for quite interesting routing actually.
Yeah, it's so cool to see how much the routing's changed in like the last couple months even too. And so much
definitely.
stuff that you can change on the fly, like depending if, you know, one challenge goes one way versus the other.
So we're at the first RNG point of the run. This is the 3v3 death race, and if our guys come in 4th and 6th or 5th and 6th, then we lose even if we're in 1st. And we're supposed to kind of go straight down the ditch. And as you can see right now, my position is 1st, but the other team's in the lead. Although now our team's in the lead. So like I say, it can change as we go. We're supposed to go straight down the ditch, but it's a bit faster to kind of just skate down here. We're going to try and make it to the road here through these fake trees. If we can. I'm too far to the left there, but that's okay. It kind of just spawns us a bit closer. If we make it to the road there, we can save quite a bit of time just because we kind of arrive and the road's just up to our right now. But yeah, it looks like we're in the lead at the minute. I don't want to jinx it as I come through the finish line. No, we got that one.
You got it, nice.
Beautiful. So that's the first chance to fail, and that one I think's a 1 in 5. And then we have 3 more 2v2s, which are a 1 in 3 each, because it's 2v2. So if our guy comes in last place, then we'll lose. This perilous path uses a similar kind of strategy of going through that little bit of fake forest to the weird field area that they probably didn't intend for us to have.
The cardboard cutout tree.
Guy got in the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run to the road and do my speed glitch over here in a nice safe place. That'll do. We don't actually have to be going too fast because we'll get a lot of speed off this hill. The interesting thing with the speed glitches is that the more you risk them, like the closer you come to the fastest you can possibly go, the more chance it is of you bailing when you do it. So it's kind of hard to balance like how risky you want to be versus like how fast you want to be, and it's just tough in general. So yeah, we're gonna go down this road, and there's a very, very specific place we can bail, which will instantly end the challenge. And hopefully our guy is not in last place. He is not. Beautiful.
Nice.
That saves us a little bit more panic. There's only 2 more 1 in 3s. I think I calculated it as a 25% chance, but I could be wrong, of not failing any of the death races. So, you know, we're a good way towards that now.
I like this next film, or this next photo.
Yeah, it's very, I think it feels really good to do. Oh, if I do it right. So we just have to tail slide on this ledge here and make it over to this bridge support. Fairly friendly to do.
You got the blunt that you missed on the Kalis challenge though.
Yeah, exactly.
On your first go.
That one was, yeah, it was front side. Although it has to be a nose blunt on the Kalis challenge, right?
Yeah. Well,
it's very specific.
Didn't you 180 into a nose blunt? Like you did a blunt and then a nose blunt there?
Yeah, I did, yeah. I don't think that counts on the Kalis. If you don't hit the nose blunt first, then only the nose blunt, it doesn't count it. You can't like pop into a nose blunt. It's really bad. Okay, so we're actually going to a different district now. The game's actually split up into 3 completely distinct maps, unlike Skate 1 and 2, which is just one map. And the loading time between each district is quite a long time. It's like 30 seconds. So we really want to go between the districts as little as possible. Ooh, yeah, beautiful. So we're gonna go. We've done the university district once. We've come over to the industrial district. We're gonna be here twice. This is the first time we're here. We're gonna be at the university district twice, and then the third district we're only gonna be there once. The downtown district. So this is another challenge where, again, teleporting there is a little bit faster, saves us a cutscene. And we need to do a slide here, but if we do a 5-0 into a board slide, we keep so much more speed, because sliding in this game loses a lot of speed, whereas grinding on the trucks preserves quite a lot of speed. So that challenge is quite tough if you just try to just slide, but it lets you off if you do a grind into a slide. And this next challenge is probably the first of the really mind-bendingly broken challenges. We've got to do a fakey 180 between these two blocks, but what we're going to do is a 180 and a fakey trick. And as long as we do that, then it will count it for the criteria. So as far as the game's concerned, I just did a fakey 180 between those two blocks. That very much did not look like a fakey 180 to me.
I know what I like, but what do you
No, not at all.
And the next challenge we're going to do is one of the ones I'm more scared about, because our only goal is to knock over a commuter at this bus stop. But unfortunately, they're particularly, steady on their feet, these commuters. If the kill criteria is to knock 3 over, which in theory would be nice. We got one. Oh, in fact, we killed it. Beautiful. So actually, what probably happened there was I knocked one guy over with my feet as I came in. I knocked the guy in front of me over, and then someone just randomly knocked another person over in the rest of the crowd in the bustling bus stop. And that actually gives us a spare kill that I wasn't even expecting to get, because it's incredibly rare to kill that challenge. So now, if we do happen to accidentally own something that we need to kill, we've got a spare one in the back pocket for our million boards. So, very nice.
That is very
I really just walked back because I thought we were done. Yeah. Incredibly hard. So here's our next death race. This one again is a 1 in 3. It's a 2v2 death race. This one's an even more interesting one. So the game actually implements some stuff to try and stop you from going straight to from getting to the end early on this challenge. It skates down this massive quarry, and it kind of snakes backward and forward. And what it does is, if you try and air straight into the middle of the quarry and skip over it by kind of going down the quarry, it just resets you back to where you were. So it's kind of got some anti-cheating built in. But rather than going down the quarry here, we can just kind of go around the quarry, and it's pretty happy to let us do that. But the problem is, how it determines who's in last place because of its snaking is kind of weird in the challenge. So it can be a bit awkward to even know whether you're going to win or not until the very last second. So we're going to bail into this bush here, and we should instantly finish, and our team won. So our odds have gone up a lot. Yeah. So before, our odds at the start of the run, our odds were 25%, I think, to have first tried all the death races, and now we're at 2/3, I guess. Falling rocks. This one's a really brutal one for Hall of Meat in terms of having those dead dead momentum on the cannonballs. We need to get 90k points, which is a lot.
I was just gonna ask, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's brutal. So it's very easy to fail, and if you fail kind of above 50k, which is their own criteria, then you're gonna accidentally own it instead of killing it. We managed to get a good amount of points falling down here, but then we just need to continue it, and we've done a good job there. Yeah, beautiful. That one can be really scary because it kind of just depends how you land after hitting the wall and falling down the bottom. So now we're going to go and skate with the Lizard King. He's a great guy, but unfortunately I'm going to push him over. A lot of the pros, they kind of they skate in front of you, which I think you're supposed to skate along with them, and it's kind of cool. But he gets in our way, so I'm going to have to...
It's a very light shove.
Yeah.
The disrespect. You should get a job as a security guard with that attitude.
Yeah, go work for Mongo Corp. That's an interesting thing about this game. There isn't really any security guards in the game. It's free skating city. People probably didn't like it from the earlier games.
Yeah, that was sick.
It's me. I'm people. I hate it.
Yeah.
Wow.
after YOLO like skate whatevs. So we're gonna walk back up to our session marker that was set at the start of that challenge and turn around where conveniently there is an on the spot. This one takes quite a long way to skate around there, and sometimes these, because it's kind of like random stone bits, sometimes they're not very friendly to grind on. So I'm going to try and avoid grinding on them. Oh, we didn't quite manage it. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. It can be a little bit funky. Try and just work out what a nice way to not hit anything is. There we go. Kind of just try and get the points without touching any of the spot, really. Because some of them can be a bit annoying. Yeah. And we're conveniently right next to this photo challenge in time for when the loading spinner ends, the saving spinner, and we can skate down into the tunnel. So we need to do a 361 foot here, and this challenge is incredibly nice if you do exactly 2 pushes and then just go. But if you do anything else, if you ollie into the bank, if you do anything else, it can really kill the... Like you get too much speed or you get too little speed and you either don't make it, you hit the beams. It's quite brutal. I kind of want to bail here because I don't want to skate too far.
Do you actually have to grab that 1 foot spin?
You can.
No,
just
you
pull
don't.
the-
You can just. You can
Yeah, I
just
was
pop
gonna
your
say. I
off.
think I have a memory of a kid, as a kid, of just spinning around holding A.
I just like this style. So this is another follow mission, and what we're going to do here is, instead of going down where it tells us to, we're going to go a sneaky way past these dumpsters that have been conveniently placed to put us off going this way. There's actually an NPC that we're skipping going near, and we actually skip a cutscene by doing so, and kind of sneak around the back way. We still unlock the character like as a playable character, but we don't have to watch the cutscene for him, which is nice. And now we're going to do this film challenge with Terry Kennedy, and yet again he starts in front of us and gets in our way, so unfortunately Terry's going to have to be pushed over. See if I can get him. Sometimes he's a little bit fast in front of us, and I don't want to bail on him.
Rough.
He shouldn't have got in my way. So yeah, I'm going to slow down a little bit just to be safe. We need to do a fakey trick out to this rail, and it's fairly tight and can sometimes be a bit... Ooh. Yeah, we just clipped the rail there and got away with it. That's the smallest grind I've ever done on there. I was not sure that was going to work.
I was judging that. I would be immediately calling a redo.
Yeah. Okay, so we also get these like team films, which are similar to the films in Skate 1, where we can kind of do like any trick and do the films anywhere. And basically it's just like a nice chance to kind of do some stylish trick. But we obviously don't care about stylish tricks, we care about fast tricks. And the fast tricks to do on those manuals. And the reason why we're doing these is because, like we said, during those orange spinners we can't like interact with the game while it's saving. So we can't really progress, but we can move forwards in the world. So the goal is basically to like run to the next challenge, but on the way there, do these film challenges as fast as possible. And we're slowly making progress. If you can see, like just in front of us, there's like a big bulldozer, and next to that there's a little bulldozer, and that's where the next challenge is. So we're kind of like just very slowly making our way over. You see the guy with the photo emblem. We'll probably do one more team film here. Anytime we're doing these, we're still saving time because we have to do these challenges anyway. If we skated there without doing these, then all of the time from all of the save spinners that we are basically moving during, we would have to wait for later in the run. So it saves a lot of time. This challenge is really hard. Someone can explain what we have to do while I try and do it.
For dozer grind up here, the game wants you to ollie all the way up and actually grind on the bulldozer, which is already hard enough. But for the kill criteria, Expired has to do a tail slide and then do a late flip off, and it's easier to do that by just running and jumping into it instead of actually like ollieing off of your board. But just because it's easier doesn't mean that it is easy. That is a very hard challenge. Good job, Expired.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I have lost.
There's another one like that where we need to do a specific grind, and the easiest strats just to kind of like run and jump, and hopefully that one's equally as chill.
Right.
So yeah, there's another death race. another death race. I'm gonna try and get a good speed glitch, but it's kind of tough. I'm actually just restart. Sometimes if those guys get in front of you, it can be a bit awkward. We'll try one more time. If we don't get one, we'll just skate normally. Oh, yeah, never mind. Sometimes your board like magnetizes you to it, and it's just really awkward. It's kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. We can still beat them. We just need to kind of build up some speed and try and skirt around them. It can be a bit awkward because if we touch them, see how you just kind of like swung in front of us. Normally when you do a speed glitch, you're just so far in front of them that you don't have to worry about them. But I think we're going to get past everyone now. Yeah, we're in the lead. Fine, we have 40 seconds still to get down there. I'm basically doing this the legitimate way, so I can't really mess up, because if I mess up, we probably won't make the kill at time. So this next little kind of section that we're going to can be a bit scary. We managed to preserve a lot of our speed there. It's all about like kind of not touching the transition part. It's quite like a direct transition from ramp to flat ground, which loses a lot of speed if you hit it fast. Yeah, we're gonna make it there with 10 seconds left. We killed it timer. If you speed glitch down there, you can probably do it with about 30 seconds left pretty comfortably. So it can make quite a big difference. Okay, so we're gonna warp up to the spillway entrance, back where we were, and we'll have a third go at this speed glitch. There, we got it that time. And we're gonna skate down here and get to and own the spot. And what we're going to do with this own the spot is we're going to try and do a speed glitch immediately after we complete it. And the goal of that will be... It's kind of hard to do. I think I got it a little bit.
Nice.
It's quite hard to see because you have this killed it screen on top of your character. We're going to use this speed glitch to get us close to the next challenge. And then we're going to go to our trusty friends, the team films. But this time I'm going to just do them on the way over to the challenge because I'm a little bit worried about that like ramp that was at the end that we just aired out of. It's quite easy to kind of get stuck there and not be able to get over it to the next challenge, but here we are. And this is another one of those photo challenges where we skip a cutscene by kind of just being in the right place. I guess they thought like, oh, you're nearby, so you've already seen the scenery. They don't have to show you it again.
That was insane!
So here I'm kind of like landing in a way that lets me skate forward towards the next challenge.
Yeah, lots of good choices. Whichever one you want.
And we get there kind of just as the save spinner finishes. Wasn't too bad. And this is another of the dodgy death races, right? Where we kind of don't follow the rules of the death race.
I like this one a lot. I think the ending of it is really cool. You guys will like this. Everyone will like this.
It's kind of, oh, we're skating in the complete wrong place, and oh, suddenly we're there. So they've put these dumpsters here again, like in the follow mission, to say like, don't go this way. But we're not going to take their advice. Normally, if they put dumpsters there, it means it's the best way to go. And you can see the kill it time is getting pretty low. We've only got 25 seconds to get to the end of this death race, which goes over the rooftops over to our left. And because where this ramp is fairly close to the end, it kind of just spawns us at the end of the race in quite a friendly way. And I'm going to try and, again, the kind of area that it's placed us is fairly convenient for getting to the next challenge. Oh, I didn't get a good speed glitch, but that's okay because we're going to start a team film. We actually only have one team film left, so I'm going to try and do a speed glitch. Ah, we didn't quite get a nice one. That's okay, we can just kind of skate while we do these four. If you see at the kind of end of the road, there's like a series of ramps and ledges, and that's actually where we're trying to get to. It's where the next zone the spot is. We don't actually have to go that much further to unlock it. There we go. This zone this spot can be a little bit interesting because the area where we want to land is where there's a ton of cars. It's absolutely horrible. And there's one coming. Ah, unfortunate.
Oh no.
He did stop to see if I was okay. Oh, I actually didn't get enough air there. There we go.
Dude,
You'll notice
everyone's
like
getting
the other,
hit.
right? You'll notice like all the other spots. Expired does a 180 in the beginning. That just allows them to do a fakey trick to start, just to get even more points.
So we're doing billboard photo 3. If we accidentally did billboard photo 2 here, then we would have been changed districts and spent a minute in load screens. So it's good to get the right one. And again, as you see, the photos are just whatever photos happen. They're the fastest photos to take, so that's what we take. And that goes up on a billboard for everyone to see. And it seems to sell boards. We sell thousands and thousands of skateboards because people want to see that photo.
You can see it right in front of Expired right now too. You could for like a quick second.
So now we're going to the third district and the last district, but I mean it's not the last one we're going to do, and we're going to visit in the run. We only actually visit this district once, and it's kind of like a city downtown-y district. It's called downtown, and it's kind of like a more of a commercial district. I guess there's like a commercial and industrial and like a university. Oh, and what I've done there is I've gone too fast. So for this challenge, we need to do a foot plant on the fountain ribbon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down here and set a session marker specifically there. This is yet another challenge where we can set a session marker kind of like halfway through the challenge and still get it later. And as you can see, I've not completed the first criteria, and that's because... Oh, almost didn't do enough turn. Yeah, that's because the first criteria in the kill doesn't complete the own criteria, which is quite strange. Most challenges you normally complete both. Yeah, we go back to our session marker. We're kind of exactly where the sign up for the next challenge is.
Yo, it's do or die time, man. First tee, no mulligans, let's do this.
So yeah, this challenge we need to do a grab grind on this rail, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get off my board before I go on the rail, because it's a little bit easier to hit the rail if you do that. And we got the grab grind, perfect.
You're gonna like this one.
So yeah, as you can see there, it's so easy to slightly tweak the board wrong, do something slightly different to normal, and like, you just fall over, and that one lost me like 8 seconds. It builds up so fast over the run, especially if you struggle a lot on longer challenges. It's so easy to lose a ton of time. And so the game's more about like consistency and precision.
Yeah, let's get this
This
going.
one's similar to Dozer Grind. We've got to just do a nose blunt slide on this ledge in front of us. And then we're going to trick the challenge to think that we actually did it and aired over the bushes by just kind of manualing around the bush. Because again, we're goal lawyering. It said gap the sign and the bush, but what we did was we grinded the sign and then we touched both the sign and past the bush, which is all they're checking for.
Goal lawyering is such a good name.
Yeah. Like rules lawyering, right?
Yeah.
Ah, this spot. Let's.
So this challenge can be a little bit funky. We gotta do a trick up the stairs and down the stairs in one sequence, and then we have to do a 600 point slide on this rail. But these ramps before the rail can be really tricky to kind of get up onto the rail. There we go. Beautiful.
Nice one. Check it out. Check it out.
So we're going to a death race now, and this one is kind of like obviously broken. So the death race is in a like parking garage, and we start at the top of it. So it expects you to like spiral all the way down it is the way that it tells you to go. But why would we do that? We all know how they work. They end up at the ground, so we're just gonna go directly to the ground and try and avoid hitting things. If I get a speed ups there, it kind of can help a little bit. And we're going to try and drop down in a very specific place where the ground's slightly higher and lets us land.
Nice.
So we save a little bit of time over the normal route. I think it takes us about 30 seconds, and it took them 1 minute and 11.
Yeah, and we appear to have won despite being in 4th place when we crossed the finish line. So Good job.
Yeah, it wasn't quite sure where I was. So this next one, there's a nice backup strat, but I'm really hoping I don't have to use it. We'll find out in a second. We just have to do a 360 grab over this gap. And I don't have to use the backup strat. Beautiful. This one's another one for kind of like lawyering the goals, where it just checks that you touched both sides and did a 360 grab. So if you kind of like skate off the side that we came from, and then skate round to the other side and do a 360 grab, then you met all the criteria, so it just completes it even though you didn't do the whole gap. So that's the nice backup strat that saves a bit of time over just trying again. This one, we just have to kind of like we have to jump through a pipe and then air into a sign, and the kill criteria is also hitting a lamp on the bottom of the sign. It's really easy to just own this one. Hopefully we're not going to. Oh, we're going really quick. Yeah, I've just owned it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on anyway, because we got that extra kill on falling rocks. So we should still have enough board sales at the end. Say that very confidently. If we don't, then we'll have to go back and do another challenge, but that's okay. There's some nice challenges to do at the end. Okay, we're going to go to Darshi Blows. There's another photo challenge, and this one again is really broken. It wants us to, you'll see loads of arrows telling us to go a very specific way and like pump all around this ramp. But instead of doing that, we're just going to kind of run over here and then do a trick, finger flip over this gap, and it's just like, yeah, okay, you transferred the hip. Because it's basically just checking that we touched both sides of the hip and we did the trick it wants us to do.
Your choice.
Very friendly bit of goal lawyering. So I'm gonna move over to this next challenge, and hopefully I've got some team films. I don't have any more team films unlocked yet, but I have an ad photo. So I can take this ad photo, and then the save spinner from this ad photo I can use to kind of get to the next own the spot.
The added up time from all of that saves so much too.
Yeah, they're just the loading spinners, because they're like a couple of seconds each.
And then you don't have
We
to
got
just
that
do
just
everything
as
at
the
the
spinner
end.
ended. Yeah, exactly. Before we used to do all of the films at the end, and it would just add up. It was like 3 minutes or something. And there's still some time for it, but not that much. So we're supposed to go down this kind of hole and skate that stuff, but the zone includes this area off to the side. And it's so much easier not to bail if you go off to the side, so that's what we like to do.
Yo, dude, what's up? It's Retta.
And I've actually unlocked my last skater, which will unlock my last team films. So we have 4 more team films total to do as we do stuff. So we're going into the last death race that we can lose. So 1 in 3 chance of our guys in last place. We'll have to go again. It has happened multiple times where we failed in a row. I mentioned that now so that I jinx it the wrong way and it just gives me it first try. Yeah, at the moment it actually thought that we weren't in first place for a bit there. We just need to be careful of cars again here. It's similar to the other games death races. This is like a blind turn. Yeah, there we go. Actually, that was really weird. I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that either. You like instant got up through the car.
Yeah, I walked inside the car.
What?
That's kind of cool.
I think the car like obstructed your spawn.
Yeah, I think so too. I actually just saw, so in the bottom right you can see new team, which is my team. It's flashing between new team and cliche, which means my guy's getting kind of like overtaken and overtaking back between last place. If he's in last place when we cross the finish, then we have to redo the whole race. So we really don't want that to happen. For most of the race, he's not been in last place. We can just hope. We're almost at the end. Oh, we're going a bit fast. You jump a little bit higher if you're going fast, so it really harms the speed glitches. There we go. We want a bit of speed here so we can skate to the end. And we got the 25% chance. Miraculously, the 25% chance of all of the RNG coming in our favor.
That's awesome, dude.
Beautiful marathon luck.
25% of the time, it works every time.
Exactly. And we're right next to this own the spot, which is perfect. We can kind of skate down, get into fakie, do a couple of tricks. I actually way over got too many points there, so we're very safe. And we, as the kind of screen fades out to tell us we did really well on that challenge, we can run around the corner to Andrew Reynolds, who we're going to skate with now. His pro challenge kill criteria is a little bit tricky.
Now working on those AR slams. I thought...
We just need to do a kickflip 180, an inward heel, and a kickflip tail slide. So there's my kickflip 180. What we can do is inward heels are a little bit tricky, so we can like try do them. Oh, we don't get a shot. Nope. So we can try do them like on the way down, and if we get one, then we can do a manual while we're coming down. There we go. Because I'm in the same sequence, it'll count that as inward healing down the set of stairs. I'm going a little bit slow, so he might actually catch up to us and make us bail. Ah, no, we're good. He actually pushed us on. That was very scary. He pushed us down a little bit. Very nice of him. I was pretty sure I was going to bail there.
I was too.
And we get a session marker for the start of the challenge that we can walk back to start the next challenge, which is fairly convenient. But this one we got to bail through the tower and hit 3 of the barrels, and we get a little counter that lets us know how many we've hit on the left side of the screen. Normally you can kind of hit 2 as we go through here. Yeah, I've hit 2, so there we go. I've hit all 3, so we just have to get to the end. But my hand is stuck in this barrel, and I think I've died. Yeah, that was unfortunate. The second time you try it, it can be a little bit tough to make sure you hit 3. I did hit 3. Good.
I was thinking the barrel might like push you to the end, but
no. If you lose all your momentum, then it just ends the bail. It's really nasty like that. Avoid the pedestrians and get around to the next challenge. This challenge, we need to do a 360, and it's another one in the series where we need to see the ramp on our left. It wants us to move that there and like help us do a 360. But if we do a foot plant, then we can kind of like just skip putting the ramp in the way. It's fortunately like just shallow enough of a drop that we can do a foot plant without falling over. And right next to us, here on our left, is an own the spot, but it doesn't load for some weird reason if we do the challenge there. So we need to do an ad photo. And taking this ad photo and then completing it, for some reason, makes the game decide, okay, I'm going to check to see if he's near an own the spot. Which is quite nice of the game, because otherwise I don't know what we would do here. I guess just not do the own the spot. So yeah, this one's a very friendly on the spot. We get a really big drop and we only need 1k points. So, which you can do in one trick. So I'm going to do 1.6k and way overdo it. The next challenge that we're going to is a long way to get there. And before we used to just skate all the way there. But now we telly over here and then start doing team film challenges. Saves us a little bit of time over the course of it. I'm actually going to do them with momentum because I don't have that many team film challenges left. And the fast way to keep momentum while doing team film challenges is just do an ollie and then kick the board away.
the route for this game used to just have you spamming all of these at the end of the run, and it was not the nicest thing to watch, but it's very nice now that you actually do them between goals instead.
It kind of means something to do them as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just doing 5 tricks, I'm doing 5 tricks while trying to get to the next place quickly. Which I think is really nice. So I'm actually like on top of the own the spot, so we can start this one. This one can be a little bit tough. It's like just an awkward grind to hit.
It's 1,000 points to kill it too, right?
Yeah. We're good. Squeeze in the gap. Some of these tricks I've definitely felt should have bailed. We've definitely been fairly lucky this run. So now we're doing the next own the spot, which is at Downtown Uptown Prom, which is at the very end of every menu option. And if we get a half decent speed glitch, we can get over there. This one I think is 1.2k points. There's quite a nice way to do it where we kind of like do a nose manual and then just do some tricks off here. Ooh, I didn't get enough. Oh, I'm gonna have to try it again.
You have an
if we don't
kill.
No, I don't. I already used that up. So if we don't manage to get enough points, we have to go back to the own the spot, and see that takes up quite a lot of time, and it was for the sake of 70 points, so I'm going to do far too many points and make sure we get it. Yeah, I lost like 20 seconds there just to not doing a 360 flip. I just did a shove it instead, a 360 shove it, which is just slightly less points, but enough that it can lose 20 seconds. And the difference on the stick of like movement is so minute. So it can be really challenging to kind of complete these runs in a fast time. It's not that hard to finish a run in general, but it's hard to do it fast. Why is there a pedestrian there?
Yeah, that was really odd.
Enjoying
Only need
the
800
feature.
points for that last Pirate
Here
head over 2,000. Make it look easy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. If you have a good session multiplier, then it makes the points so much easier to get. So this next one, we just have to do a double flip. I think it might tell you to do a double kick flip, but double heel flip works too. And I prefer heel flips over kick flips because it moves my thumb like towards my hand. I know it's like a big controversy in the community, I guess, or like a rift of like people who like to flick to the left and people who like to flick to the right. I think you're left gang, aren't you, Super?
Yeah, I'm left gang. It's more comfortable. I think it's because
Which way do you prefer, Heki?
Always right side.
Yeah.
I think I used to be more on the right side, but my like old Xbox 360 controller, the top right corner of the right stick, it was just off, like so off. So I just got used to always flicking left, and now I'm just like really stuck that way.
It's like the only reason I just play Goofy all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anyone else plays, then let us know. Which way is best? Oh, there's a pedestrian right where I need to go. Yeah, I didn't get enough points. The pedestrian was unfortunately exactly where I needed him to be. He's gone now, which is friendly. Ooh. This is probably one of the harder home spots, I would say. If we get a good like fakey trick, then it's quite easy to kind of like carry on some points. But if you don't get a good fakey trick, it can be really, really, really difficult. We're coming towards the end of this district, and that'll be the last time we're in this district. It'd be good to escape. There's a really fast route on here where we do a speed glitch, but it's not particularly marathon safe, so I won't do it. But yeah, in theory, I think you could clear multiple of these in one go, rather than just doing one at a time, and it would still count.
Alright, let's check it.
Okay, so this next challenge that we're coming up to, we need to do a manual on each table, and we need to do a unique flip out of them. So again, this is another one where it can be a bit awkward,
Dude,
so we try and do like as unique a flip trick as possible each time, so it's unlikely we accidentally do the same one. I've said that now, so I'll probably do the same one. I like to do shove-its because you drag them around the bottom of the controller, so they're very, very easy to control. And then I'll always do a nollie trick on the last one because you cannot obviously do the same trick as a nollie as you have done
That's smart.
regular. Yeah. It just removes a bit of risk. Because if for any of the other ones you don't manage to do a unique trick, you can go back and do a unique trick on them. But if you don't do it on the last one, then you'll just own instantly and won't get the kill. Which means you have to restart the whole challenge again, which is so much worse than just turning around and trying one more time.
Right.
So yeah, that was our last billboard photo, and that's the last challenge we need to do in this district. The reason we do this billboard photo now is so that we don't have to change districts, because it always places us here when you finish that photo, no matter where you are. So now we're going to warp away, and you can pay attention to how long this load screen is. It really is pretty brutal to accidentally go to the wrong district. Kind of hoping I don't have to show people that. But yeah.
All right, you want to
So for this challenge, we just need to do a finger flip over the shark.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's fairly friendly to do, but you can sometimes catch your trucks, which I don't have to show you. But like, if you don't quite get enough air, or you air in a weird way, you can sometimes catch your trucks on the back, like the top of the second ramp that you're kind of going into, and then you just bail. I'd like to try and like push the nose forward and go for a nose manual. this next challenge, Solar System, is maybe one of the hardest challenges in any of the skate series, especially to kill it. I wouldn't want to try and kill this in a run. It's brutal.
Whoa, what astro?
I think it's
You're good to
so
go.
in the challenge we have to air up to Pluto. Like it's like a, I guess, solar system models with spokes, and we have to air up to Pluto in the own to own it. But in order to kill it, you have to air over that spoke. Oh, I did get it. And airing over the spoke is really awkward. Oh, we might bail here. Yeah, we didn't. Beautiful. Sometimes if you hand plant, actually, it tells us to hand plant the final cutout, but we can kind of hand plant on the edge. If we hand plant directly over the cutout, then sometimes it just sticks your board inside it and bails for you, which is always nice to see. So this next one, Ditch Hits, I would say is probably one of the most scary challenges in the run. It's right at the end. Well, pretty much at the end. We don't have that much left. And yeah, it's, as you'll probably see, really hard to do. So this first gap, we have to do a 360. And what I'm actually trying to do is lose speed here, because if we have too much speed here, I think we actually might do, then we air too high and we'll bail. Ooh, we just didn't. Beautiful. But then we have to make sure that we still keep enough speed to air over this ramp to the next ramp. But we don't want too much speed that we hit the kind of like roof parts, or like the, I don't know what you can call those, the supports.
Yeah.
Of the roof.
Yeah, you don't want to hit the struts. You don't want to hit any other parts of that.
It's absolutely horrible.
Although, you know,
It's so easy.
Casually working with like bridges and like the dam later, you can get some of like somebody was mentioning, I think at the end of the last game, talking about if you bail wrong, you can just bounce you up hundreds of feet into the air, and that could be a lot of fun in this game.
Yeah, definitely. But for that challenge in particular, just because of how long it is till the end as well, you can lose so much time. Like like per attempt of that is like a minute, or like maybe like 45 seconds, because it's a load screen to get back as well. It's really brutal. I'm so happy that worked. I was doing some practice the other day, and I identified that challenge as one of the ones that was a little bit on the edge. So I came up with that as a safe strategy for it.
Really?
And it turns out it was safe. So this is our last death race, and it's yet another one in exactly the same place. Fortunately, it's just every man for himself. So as long as we're not last, or like, as long as we're first, which we will be because we know the secret ways, then we'll win. This is yet another one where we kind of speed glitch down the hill. We're going to go into our little hidden area with the fake trees, and if we can, we'll make it to the road. Oh, no we won't. We aired too far. It's really brutal when you do that. We actually have to kind of like turn around and go skate off this way. Probably the worst place. Well, we're definitely not making it to the road now, because I don't think you can gather enough speed from this. We can try. If I go a bit over, nah. But this drops us down much further into the race. Like, you're actually supposed to wind quite a long way around. You see I'm already at like plus 40 seconds. So it's no issue that we bailed those couple of times. And there's a slight cut we can do rather than kind of skating down the bottom. If we can turn enough here and dodge the tree. Maybe I can bail in. Nah, unfortunately we can't. But yeah, if you can kind of like dodge up there, you can save a bit of time. The ideal way is to take the road and just follow the road all the way around. And when you get it, it's so much quicker. I think maybe like 20 or 30 seconds quicker than this route. But this route's already like 20 seconds faster than the intended way. And that is the end of the university district. So we've done 2 out of 3 of our districts on our way to 1 million boards. Just the final one to go, back in the industrial district. So some interesting industrial skateboarding to come. I think we only have about 5 challenges left, and then we're done.
Alright, dude, let's do it.
So we've just got to manual all of these. It says just gap onto them, that's their own criteria. But if we can manual between them all, then we can kill it. and I like to turn at the end so that I'm not skating kind of like away, because the closer we stay to these little gaps that we did, the closer we are to this owner spot, which we need to do now. And this one's probably the hardest owner spot in the game. It's the highest points we have to do of 2,000, so hopefully it's fairly chilled, but it can take us a little while sometimes. Beautiful, we got it first try.
Nice. That is really
super
a
tough.
hard on the spot.
It's just so hard to keep going and, you know, not
Right?
fail.
All the rails and the ledges are all at different heights too, so it's so easy to be on one a little lower and catch on the one that's a little bit higher next.
Right, and
Yeah,
like everyone's
exactly.
been mentioning, you know, where you land on the board versus the trucks changes your momentum considerably. So you saw
Yeah.
Data like carefully placing and moving the board around to try to land on a good spot to keep momentum.
I want to do my ad photo here. If I did the billboard photo there, I would have been walked away. And I need to be here because there's an owner spot just directly below me. What I'm going to try and do, so you normally can't immediately start owner spots when you enter their zone, but if you pause and unpause, you can do it. You can't enter them while you're bailing too. So I'm going to try and kind of like drop down into the owner spot, unlock it, and then also pause, unpause. Oh, we actually landed on a ledge, but that's okay. So we didn't quite manage it, but that's okay. It was still fairly quick compared to the, like, just getting there normally. This owner spot can give people a couple of problems too, especially me there apparently. So what I wanted to do there is land in a nose manual, but I didn't quite have as much height as I wanted. That's okay though, we'll just give it another shot. So yeah, we kind of want to get fakey because that's where the most points are. And land in a nose manual and then just trick off, and we get 2,000. We only need 1,600, so it's fairly friendly if you just do the right tricks first try. And now we're going to go and get our cover shot for the skateboard mag. This is the third time, right? No, the second time we don't do it in Skate 2.
I don't think this gap is possible.
This is the second time we've hit our cover for skateboard mag.
Let's do this.
And I guess what's the total fifth cover?
Yeah,
Across all the
cover
games?
across them all. This cover too can give you a lot of issues sometimes, or can give me a lot of issues. You have to do a late flip over the gap, but if you just manual on that car, you can easily get to the other side.
To choose from.
Otherwise, that gap is really big if you try to go like to the left of the car.
Yeah, it's tough. The car not being a problem, like being there and being friendly, is definitely helpful. So this last challenge, this is basically, well, I say this last challenge. We have one more challenge after this. This challenge is the last like one that isn't just a photo that we take. Can be a little tricky. So we have to 360 flip into the gap, then we have to do a tuck knee, and then we have to 540 down this massive gap into what is quite a dodgy ledge. What I'm going to do is some slightly interesting backup strats where we kind of manual in, which can sometimes go awry. Like I say, it can be a little tricky, this challenge, but we'll get it done.
Yeah, that was bold.
So yeah, 360 flip, a tuck knee. What happened there was, it just didn't quite pop
that was
enough.
insane.
Go on, Heki.
I spent a lot of time here getting destroyed as a kid.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, it's the final photo challenge, so it's kind of designed to be tough. There we go. You're supposed to land in that bank to our left, but often you kind of like clip your trucks if you do that. So it can be pretty brutal. So it's nicer to just kind of hit the bank on the side there. And we have to do exactly one more challenge, which is, oh no, two more. Sorry. We have this ad photo, and then we have to do a billboard. And we should have 1 million board sales. So time technically ends when we complete the last challenge, like the criteria for the last challenge. But what we'll do is we'll carry on watching after time to make sure we actually sold 1 million board sales, because it's kind of a weird thing where like time's ended, but we don't know for sure that time's ended because we can't see the criteria done. So that's time. but now we're waiting to see, did we actually sell 1 million boards? And when you're doing the stuff that we did, where it's like, oh, I kill this one, I won't kill this one, like the kill criteria can vary a little bit in how much board sales it is. So I say that was time, but it might not be time. It's kind of hard to explain. I think we did hit 1 million board sales, yeah. So we get this nice outro cutscene to say, here are all the people that we saw along the way. And in fact, they're people that we saw through the whole Skate series. But yeah, that's us done.
That is a Skate Trilogy.
Yeah.
GG's on a validated Skate 3 run, and to all three of you. Really amazing showcase.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us on.
Fun to do. Thanks for having us on. Thanks everyone for being a part of this and everyone watching and donating. It's just so awesome to see. Thank you all for everything.
I mean, our pleasure. Where can the people find you? Any of you want to do some shout outs, talk about the skate community, anything like that?
Yeah, so shout out the skate speedrunning community. Also, just shout out the skate community in general. Great things happen when, you know, all skate players come together, whether you're a casual player, a speedrunner, a comp player. I feel like we all have little things that we've, you know, found in these games over the last handful of years that we can share with each other. So, you know, come find any of us on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, any of the social media platforms. You can find me at SupaScared. Go ahead and Heki and Expired if you'd like to say anything.
Yeah, I don't really do a lot of social media stuff, but I occasionally stream on twitch.tv/ExpiredData.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar where I don't really post on socials much, but I do stream fairly often under the name Hekigan.
Yeah, and you can also catch us on, there's a Discord server for skate speedrunning that you can get to through speedrun.com. I think it's linked in basically every skate games forums. And if you're interested in running, have any information that we don't know that you think, oh, there's a glitch that you don't know, then come let us know, because that's kind of how we find out about half of the tricks, is just from people randomly turning up and saying, I played as a kid and I did this.
Yes, exactly.
I was gonna say, not only has it happened before, it's happened recently. So, you know, if you liked any part of what you saw today, now's your chance.
It is a perfect time to start speedrunning skate, especially while we all wait for the new game. So please come join us, and thank you all for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again to SupaScared, Heki, and ExpiredData on that awesome trilogy run. It was a lot of fun to watch. Very glad to be a part of it. And thank you to everyone who's watching for being a part of what we have going on today. Blackheart's Boston Fund is a mutual aid fundraiser organized to help out a wonderful friend of a variety of communities in speedrunning, Frame Fatales, Stardew Valley. Of course, that is the wonderful Blackheart Wings, also known as Gabby. She is currently going through a major life change, and so is crowdsourcing funds in order to afford her move to Boston and make sure she can afford travel, housing, and other basic necessities. So, you know, friends like SupaScared, Heki, and ExpiredData have all come together with us to create this event for her. And with your viewership, your interest, and your donations, we can help change Gabby's life and make sure she can move safely to live the life she wants to. So please stay tuned. We've got a lot more coming up for you in just a little bit, starting with Mother, also known as Earthbound Beginnings. Stay tuned.